Getting underway on Capitol Hill. It's a Senate confirmation hearing for another of President-elect Trump's cabinet nominees. This time it's Kristi Noem, the two-term South Dakota governor, Mr. Trump's choice to lead the Department of Homeland Security. And a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee says it would appear that Senator Marco Rubio is a shoo-in for Secretary of State.
Senator Steve Daines of Montana tells the Salem Radio Network,
I don't think there's a better nominee that President Trump could have picked for Secretary of State.
So qualified, Daines says he deserves and will likely get bipartisan support.
I think he's going to have most Democrats supporting him.
Daines says in addition to the knowledge Rubio has gained from 12 years on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee,
he's got moral clarity where it really, really matters in places like Israel, Iran.
Rubio expected to play a key role in President Trump's pledge to rebuild respect for the U.S. abroad. Bob Agnew reporting.
President Biden wielding his pardon pen yet again.
On his final Friday in office, President Biden is commuting the sentences of nearly 2,500 people convicted of nonviolent drug charges. In a White House statement, Biden says he's seeking to undo disproportionately long sentences compared to what they would have received under current law. The action gives Biden the presidential record for the most individual pardons and commutations, including his son Hunter.
Town Hall.
You've heard me talk about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free, too, with their 3-week quick start kit for only $19.95, less than $1 a day. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Speaker Mike Johnson expected to choose Representative Rick Crawford of Arkansas next chair of the House Intelligence Committee.
Johnson on Wednesday removed former Chair Mike Turner of Ohio in a move that stunned even some Republicans on the panel. Now he has told people that he intends to replace him with Crawford, a low-key veteran of the Intel panel. Crawford is the most senior Republican on the committee and viewed as a less hawkish pick than Turner. Crawford also is the only intelligence panel member left who ran for the top spot after Trump loyalist Devin Nunes resigned in 2022. Turner tried to repair some of the bipartisan ties on the panel when he took over. But Turner enraged conservatives over the chaotic reauthorization of a sweeping surveillance bill last year. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
Recapping the hour's top story, Israel's Security Cabinet has put its stamp of approval on the ceasefire hostage release deal with Hamas. A major hurdle cleared, but it's not a done deal yet. The agreement now goes to the full cabinet for its consideration. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to it. We start a little bit early, I guess. I don't know if the feed dump there when we're doing the news, but so we'll just kick off.
Newscaster just quit.
He said, I'm out.
Done.
Blew this popsicle stand. But yeah, so we just, all right, I guess I'm going to start the show then. So good morning. Happy Friday.
Yes, welcome to it.
Yeah.
Finally.
Well, enjoy. Well, it's a weird day, man. It's a weird day.
Yeah,
man.
That's why I wore the hat. I was like, do I do my hair or no?
No problems with his hair thing anymore.
You know what? Got a point. Just let the wind blow through your scalp.
That's my ear. It's like wind chimes.
Yeah. Only a lot itchier.
But yeah, it's a weird day because it's gonna be warm. We're gonna be in the 60s, but
Yeah.
we got like wind warnings and dust storms and blowing dust and all that.
And please, and I know this probably goes without saying, given what we're dealing with over in LA and all that, but please remember it's really dry and brittle out there, and the winds are going to be a factor. Let's extinguish your smoking material before you exit any vehicles.
Yeah,
or
being smart with that.
be,
yeah,
be fire safe right now.
Although I think we are a little bit blessed as far as moisture compared to.
That's true.
We've had we're not. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're the desert.
Right.
It's always dry, but we're not as dry. But you're right. Yeah, don't be throwing your butts out the window or deciding this is the day you're gonna do some welding on all that vegetation or whatever.
That one. I've always had that one dream to start a fire in a 55-gallon drum. Not today. Not today. Just want to keep warm. For the drum fire.
You dream different.
Yeah, we do. We have, we got different goals in life. Really, we do. I want to keep my hands warm and a pair of fingerless gloves next to a 55-gallon drum fire.
Good times.
That's right.
Shangri-La. But yeah, absolutely. But then this is bringing in the cold stuff. So next week, like you said, I think tonight will be good. But tomorrow night, we're going to be down 20s and then teens. We're almost single digits by Tuesday night of next week. So
our high next week is basically 30s and 40s.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, we're not getting out of the 30s. So we'll get you up to date on all that here in just a bit. But
bringers of sorrow.
Yeah. So
not to mention, this is the last weekend before the new president takes office.
That's right. Monday's inauguration day. So. It's kind of funny growing up in the Maryland, D.C. area. Inauguration Day is different when you live in that area.
Yeah.
The District of Columbia, locals, you know how UFO Festival hits here?
That's kind of what I was thinking it is. Basically, it's get the heck out of there. Let them do their thing for a while.
Well, and even part of it, but it even goes bigger than that because for a week to eat, I don't think government employees that work in many, unless you're really, really essential, didn't even go to work.
Yeah.
Because they tell them don't come back to the office till the 22nd of January. After all this is happening, especially now in more modern times where people can work from home and everything.
Right.
D.C. is a ghost town for regulars.
I'd imagine though, if you're in the service industry, it's probably your.
Oh, sure. The hotels, but I'm talking the 99% of people that work downtown that are government employees.
Yeah.
They aren't working unless they're in the really important stuff. The secret squirrel stuff and the vital essential stuff.
Yep.
Like the chef. But
the guy that's got to unlock the gym.
That's right. The bathroom attendant at Capitol Hill.
There is a a basketball court that sits above, I think it's either the chamber of the House or the Senate or something.
Yeah.
And they call it the highest court in the land. It's the inside joke. That's where they go to play basketball and unwind after long sessions.
They'll play basketball poorly.
Yeah, exactly. Bunch of old white dudes just focusing on the fundamentals.
Right.
A lot of pass game.
Nice knickerbockers.
Not a lot of crossing cats, you know? Not a lot of cross-ups.
I feel like the movie Hoosiers. It looks like Hoosiers in there. 10 feet, just like back at Hickory.
Guy with the pole bringing the hoop down.
Right? Sorry. I just jumbled all that together, but that's what I have. But yeah, DC's way different during inauguration, and it's just because it's such scrutiny with security. You don't realize like all those buildings, they've got snipers. You know, when the president's walking and all that, it's lockdown city and all that, and so it's just a different vibe,
right,
for people that live there and are used to doing their day to day in DC. So most of those people are hunkered down and watching it on TV and staying away from anywhere near the city. They're out in the suburbs, out in Maryland, Virginia, just not being.
I just imagine like just a bigger high rise in the area. Some guy decides he wants to open the window to just get a little breeze going in the room. He cracks the window. You get a sniper bullet in the head.
Well, I mean, that's kind of, especially if you live in D.C., they won't shoot people. But, but there are people telling you don't be doing that stuff. There will be Secret Service hanging out in your apartment complex, if it's in the route. That's just kind of how it is. But anyway, I'll watch it. I'm sure we'll have all kinds of coverage on.
I have a feeling they'll
Westwood
probably run it. They'll probably run
Clay and Buck and all that, because it'll be right during their shows and all that's going down. So they'll be covering it probably pretty extensively. So, there was something else I was going to say. I don't remember what it was. I don't know. But
I was gonna ask you about your Wingate brother.
That's my sister's school.
Oh, nice.
My sister's college in North Carolina.
So you're a Wingate brother. They are not the Wingate brothers.
Yeah, not Wingate brothers.
I was very confused. If there's a school out there that wants one that's kind of low hanging, and I know he's not super popular right now, make your mascot a hulking figure and just call yourself the whatever brothers.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
I just want to see a big, fluffy version of the Hulk rip off his shirt.
It's like a giant foam bat.
Kind of like the Allstate guy, if you've seen that commercial.
Yeah.
But a Hulk version.
Their foam fingers or foam ears.
I do want to see him rip off the shirt thing, too. I want to see the... Is it wrong that I want to also see a same version of an Undertaker and I want to see them wrestle each other?
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 Wingate Brothers. And you hear, I am a real American.
Then he comes out on a speedboat.
Just red and yellow.
That's right. But I think he's got the speedboat from that show he did for a minute. And then
Thunder in Paradise?
Yeah. But no, my sister gave this to me.
Cool.
Me and my brother Chris each got one over the holidays.
So Bulldogs?
So yeah, she doesn't. She's not. She does actually some sports, but her sports are like, weirdly enough, rugby right now.
Really?
My sister's a rugby player.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an intense sport.
Well,
That's an intense sport, brother.
Well, and here's my sister. She's in that phase of life where you ask her what she's into 1 minute and then you ask her again the next minute and they're not the same thing.
So she's a teenager.
Well, but it's a different thing. It's like, it's next level. Like she's at college trying everything. You know what I mean? I don't know about everything. I don't want to know those things. But I'm talking about curriculum-wise and activity-wise.
Right.
Num, sister, don't want to know. Don't want to know.
Just
la.
no.
She's going to church. I don't know. For her Bible lesson.
She's joining the studious fraternity.
That's right.
She's joining Lambda Moon.
That's right. But anyway, she's she does journalism stuff. She just has so many interests and weird things that she's a people person.
And that's sort of what that age and what college is all about is, we're just going to cast a wide net and see what we're into.
She's just a social butterfly. And I think she just likes hanging out and talking to people and being in different circles and learning things. That's just her jam.
So she's college, right?
Yes.
What's her major? Does she have one?
Exactly. It's changed 3 times.
Communications.
Well, and that's been one of her things in the
pantheon.
Because she's watched me and said, "I like to do what you do."
In fairness, I changed majors 3 times. I was, believe it or not, this guy was going to school to be an elementary school teacher. Nobody said, "Yeah, that's probably a bad idea." They let me go to class. I did a practicum. I took care of kids.
I got to go to the bathroom, Mr. Smalls.
It's more, I don't have the patience. I barely have the patience for my own children. Bear in mind, this was before I had kids.
Right.
And I didn't learn.
It was a different time.
When you have a child on the spectrum, you sort of gives you a whole new level of a patience you never knew you had.
Well,
because I'm very impatient to begin with.
Based on when I met you, I feel like teacher by day, stand-up comedian by night is not exactly the path that most people follow.
Right. Although there have been a few that have become pretty successful stand-ups based off of I was a high school science teacher. Or something
no comedian is what you've been doing growing up. Comedian? No, there were 12 other things before we got to comedian.
Yeah. So that's precisely what college is for. It's trying a bunch of hats on and seeing which one you like.
Throw everything at the wall, see what sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's doing all that, but she's just one of those, and she'll figure it out because she's very smart, very bright. She gets great grades, all that stuff. But she's literally, I think, just trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
and that's the cool part. But anyway, but that's what the shirt's all about. So, Wingate.
Nice.
Not Wingate Brothers.
The Wingate Brothers.
Let me give you the rundown for today because we got to get the hour going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to replay an interview we had with Jeannie Yeager from the District Attorney's Office, and Beaumont, the DA dog, joined us. Had a great conversation talking about DA dogs and all that, and support them.
Mm-hmm.
Please. It's a great program. But anyway, we're going to play the interview here in just a minute. Chavis County Manager Bill Williams going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour. Had a kind of a important meeting yesterday, selecting a new state rep, along with just the ordinary business of a county commission meeting. So we'll cover all of the above with Bill Williams in the 8 o'clock hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to have from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico Board President Jason Garcia and Amy McVeigh-Tejas, Executive Director, will join us. And they'll just give us an update what's going on at the Historical Society.
There you go.
I love saying that.
Society.
Ow! Oh, I don't want to hear it. I want some noise after it. Maybe not cougar, but something there. I don't know. We'll work on it. It is 18 minutes after 7. Let's get you up to date on your windy weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Strong cold front on the way in today. We have a high wind warning in effect through tonight. Wind gusting at 35 to 45 miles an hour, maybe as high as 50. We'll get some blowing dust across the area too, but we will have sunshine, low 60s on the afternoon high. Mid-30s and still pretty windy overnight. Upper 50s and sunny on Saturday. Upper 30s for Sunday and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 33 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 82%. Winds currently out of the southwest at 6 miles per hour. We do have a wind advisory beginning at 10 a.m. this morning and remaining in effect through 4 p.m. this afternoon. That's because it's going to be windy. Widespread blowing dust after 11 today. The good news is sunny, high of 63. That's the only good news part. The rest, not so much. Windy with west winds 10 to 20 this morning, increasing 20 to 30 this afternoon, and potential wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour possible. For tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 29 degrees. Winds will be out of the west, 5 to 15 miles per hour. For Saturday, during the day, not too bad. Mostly sunny, 52 for a high. North winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies, getting cold. Overnight low of 18 with north winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. They will decrease later in the evening, 5 to 10. Sunday, partly cloudy, a high of only 34 with east winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 18. And then for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Monday, mostly sunny, but once again, a high of only 34. Monday night, 15 for an overnight low. Now, here's the good news. They were talking chances of snow and stuff during these days here, just as late as yesterday. I'm not seeing any of that now, just the frigid temps. 34 Monday, 37 Tuesday, then we're back into the 50s by Wednesday, but those overnight lows, again, 16, 15. Again, this is why we're needing help with the heat, the warming center, Food Not Bombs. If you can help donate, please reach out, because they need coats, sleeping bags, all that stuff, helping folks navigate temps like this, and probably a few more to come. All right, 7:21, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to play our interview with Gina from the District Attorney's Office and Beaumont, our DA dog. That's on the other side. Don't go away.
Hey, Roswell, Happy New Year. Roswell Ford has a New Year's resolution you're going to love. We resolve to sell more new Fords in 2025, so we're going to make it super fun, super fast, and super easy, just for you. In fact, we'll give you the price we'd give to a friend or family member right up front. So bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it, because at Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? We can help. We'll take your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, and even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Huge savings, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance, plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
You there! What are these?
My glasses, Your Highness.
They're incredible. Who made these?
The eyesight in Roswell. Or was it Hobbs? Or maybe Carlsbad.
So well crafted and stylish. So the eyesight thinks they could challenge my throne with their quality eyewear.
Actually, Your Majesty, I got 2 pair and an eye exam. It was so easy. I did it during my lunch break, and they even took my insurance.
Lunch break? Who gave you a lunch break?
Human resources, Your Majesty.
Silence! I'll get you eyesight!
The Eyesight, now accepting new patients 5 and up in Roswell, Hobbs, and Carlsbad.
3 locations?
Clearly the best in sight. Are you ready to succeed? The health education programs at ENMU Roswell can set you up for success with a wide variety of courses such as emergency medical services, fire science, medical assisting, nursing, and respiratory therapy. ENMU Roswell can prepare you for a rewarding career in the healthcare industry. ENMUR stacks courses in order to get the student into a job as quickly as possible while creating a pathway for more advanced certifications, licenses, and degrees. Eastern New Mexico University Roswell. Success starts here.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. China has more English speakers than the United States. They have more Chinese speakers, too. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us. It damages them both. I imagine they lay off the broccoli and a few other things, too, too. But good morning. It is 25 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning for the first time in 2025.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Gina Yeager with our 5th Judicial District, District Attorney's Office. And good morning. And, of course, Beaumont is here as well, too. I cannot say Gina's here, but she brought Beaumont as well, too. So even though he's not on camera, he's underfoot receiving rubs and pets and all that.
Yeah, if Gina's there, Beaumont's usually right with her. So.
Well, earlier it was kind of funny. She had the head, and I had the butt, and he was under the table, and I'm rubbing the butt while she's rubbing the head. So,
thank goodness the cameras aren't on.
But yeah, it was innocent. It was completely innocent. But for folks asking what we're talking about here, this is something that the 5th Judicial District really has started with Diana Luce and this program, and we call it the DA dogs. And these dogs serve as support dogs to help prosecution in courtrooms. When they have witnesses or victims or people testifying that are uncomfortable or apprehensive, or if they're trying to get, if a DA is trying to get evidence and collect the story and get that information, a lot of the times the dogs are that icebreaker, that opportunity to take what's a very nerve-wracking situation for some folks and putting a little calm, a little normalcy, a little comfort in the room.
We've learned that people don't trust people. And if somebody's hurt you, why would you talk to somebody else that's an adult that's hurt you?
Sure.
But the dogs have helped bring a normal situation or a normalcy into a situation that's very stressful.
Break down barriers a little bit. Walls are created, especially if you're dealing with victims that have built walls up for defense, because that's a natural human response to do that. Sometimes Beaumont in the room or one of the other dogs just being there and resting their head on your lap or doing what dogs do kind of softens that a little bit and lets down the armor.
Yeah, Kiki, Tina, Duke, and Beaumont basically bring smiles when you walk into our office, which is amazing to see for these people that have been through hell and back.
Yeah.
Excuse the language, but
that's the honest to God truth.
They've been through a lot, and for them to come in and to this big scary building, to this big scary office with people they don't know.
People in suits and dresses looking very intimidating. Yeah.
And then they have this fluffy thing that comes up wagging and just shaking their bodies. And it's like, hi, guys.
What are you doing here?
Yeah. So it's been nice.
It's literally like watching the serious drama and then Bozo the Clown walks through the room or something. You know what I mean? It's literally one of those moments you're like, what just happened? And it just breaks the tension.
It is so amazing when when we walk down the hall and when they first come in, they're in our waiting room and you see them and they're just so serious and then they see the dogs and their body language changes and they smile. So it's a big change for them and it's immediate.
And it makes humans out of everybody in the room. And that's what and at the end of the day, when you're dealing with the law, it's very black and white, but how to get to the answers in the law is very gray. And that's where you need that humanity to come in. And you're dealing with very human things. And sometimes you need to have human things to break up and get through to do that. And there's, to be honest, the dog is one of those easiest ways because as soon as you walk in, the dog's doesn't have an agenda, doesn't have anything other than it's looking for some petting or a cookie or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Its needs are simple.
Yeah, they're very, very simple.
So that sometimes just makes it that much better. And this is the great part. Since this has been going on, they're seeing success. They're seeing more convictions. They're seeing more people coming forward. They're seeing more people getting resolution from each and one of these cases. And at the end of the day, that's all the district attorney's office really do. It's like, look, we can't make things happy again because some of the nature, but we got to give justice to people that deserve it. And we're seeing a better results just because these dogs are hanging out in the room. And so that's why, and here's the rub right now, is we're seeing results that are so positive. But here's the deal. There is no government funding. There is no
anything your taxpayer dollars are doing to support this program that we know is effective and is working in the system. Everything we got, the DA dog program here in the 5th, this is all grassroots. Gina and some other volunteers and staff are literally going door to door, hanging out at fairs and various things, letting people come pet on the dogs and say, can you give us money, please, so we can get more of these dogs. And next thing you know, we're seeing the 5th Judicial District, the 12th Judicial District, the 6th Judicial District, and then we're going into Arizona. And next thing you know, every DA's office in the country has a pound of dogs, or whatever you call a gaggle of dogs, I don't know, that are available to help people.
Yes. Sorry, Beaumont's pulling on me.
Beaumont's got Beaumont.
He just laid down. So we are working on 3rd generation. This program started in 2014 when Janetta Hicks was DA, and it carried over.
Yeah.
It grew. It's growing. But the funding does come from the foundation, the 5013C, and we have a board. We have everything that we constantly are fundraising. We're doing a salsa sale right now. We have the golf tournament planned in October. Yeah. We have different things throughout the year to keep the funding going. We also get grants.
But here's the thing is government should be funding this.
Yeah.
This is a tool like anything else, like benches and judge hammers and pens and computers.
Yeah.
These dogs are yes, they're animals, they're living things, but they're also vital tools in doing the day-to-day job of the district attorney's
They're vital
office.
for our victims, for them to have a fair fight in court.
Yes.
To have somebody to have their back. I mean, these dogs have their back. No judgment, no questions. We're here for you.
Absolutely.
Whatever you need.
Absolutely. And here's another cool thing that you may or not realize too is these dogs do kind of do double duty. Like when they're not doing official DA business, they pop in like places like the library from time to time or various schools and things and just, be mascots. Like for instance, I know like the Casa dogs, sometimes you guys kind of, flip out your appearances, but because the Casa dogs are also very popular too.
Yes.
But like the library started their program where kids get to read to dogs, and so I know Beaumont and some of the others have done that in the past.
They have done that, and we're ready to go back over there.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
It is, but that's
the dogs. The dogs loved it,
and that's the cool thing. And we want more of that and more because ideally, yes, the day-to-day stuff that these dogs do is so needed. But I think just to get people to understand, because I get it, it's the DA's office. You get a call from them, you feel you're in trouble. And so there is a stigma when that call happens. And I'm not saying that'll ever go away because as long as people are, but the dogs also give the human side to the DA's office. When people, because I get it, you're nervous and all that, but you know what? It's a building full of humans too that are trying to do their things. And at the end of the day, every person in that building has seen it, been there and done that. And they're just trying to get the best resolution for everybody.
Yes.
And sometimes that mission gets missed out because you're thinking they're the man, they're the government, they're the authority. And yes and no. Yes, they are here to protect and provide justice for the people. But at the same time, yes, it's humans. There's people and these dogs. And a lot of these cases, again, it's black and white. Especially when you get into families and domestic violence and people, loved ones going against each other in court. When you have those things happening, these dogs do make the difference in those things. And that's where it brings that where it can get really ugly. It brings a little love in a very ugly situation.
It helps so much. I mean, they're not used in every case because some people just don't like dogs or allergic.
Yeah, not everybody is a dog lover. We get that.
But they are a great tool to help us get through some horrible information, horrible being in the courtroom. It's another tool for us for victims.
It does give strength.
Victims don't have a lot of, they have a lot of rights, but it's just another way for us to help protect them in the courtroom.
Well, and this is something that, and God, I hope for people listening that have never experienced this, I hope you never do. But if you're a victim in a case, especially a case of violence or of a family or something where there's a lot of, and 99.9% of cases are usually people that know people and involve people that you either come to love, respect, or have a very integral part of your life. That's not uncommon here. And when you're dealing with those situations, it is very hard to share what you share because And it's for a lot of reasons.
Yes.
If it's a family member, you want them punished, but at the same time, you don't want to be the reason that they're in jail for the rest of their lives or whatever it is.
Right.
And you're dealing with that kind of stuff. And that's where these dogs come in and say, all right, let's be rational for a minute. Let's stop, forget all this. Let's calm down. Let's just de-escalate for a minute. And then when everyone's kind of loving, then we can start talking and say, this is what's going on here. This isn't about hate. This isn't about point. We're just trying to get the truth, and we're trying to make sure that everyone gets the best possible scenario.
Correct.
Based on what happened in this scenario.
And we need to know everything.
Yes.
I mean, we get the puzzle and we get pieces, and our victims are our final piece.
Sure.
They're the ones that are going to fill in all the blanks from all the reports we get, all the information we get. And so for them to be able to come in and feel comfortable, because they've got to trust us in like 5-10 minutes.
Absolutely.
And these dogs help build that trust.
Sure.
So just having that extra bonus tool in our pocket helps us so much.
Well, and it's, getting into the investigative side, when you're talking Justin and some of the investigators that work for the district attorney's office, their job is to get as much evidence that these attorneys can use to seal the case in court. And a lot of times, even if the story isn't exactly the evidence you can use directly in court, it sets up, that gives me another person to talk to. That gives me another lead. That gives me another angle. And that little bit of information that they got because they were able to talk to a victim for a little bit begat the next thing, which begat the big piece that they needed to lock this person with this crime or that thing.
Yeah, I mean, with all of us working together with law enforcement, the DA's office, our investigators, the victim advocates, the staff that we have that reaches out and talks to people too. I mean, it's a combined thing, and these dogs are part of that. So each person that puts their hand in it helps us build the puzzle, and these dogs just help our victims feel okay.
Absolutely.
And comfortable coming into this building with us. So
absolutely,
and walking through the process.
And if nothing else, they're a thing to hug on while they're going through a very difficult moment.
They'll sit with you while you're waiting to go into court. So it's been good.
And that's the thing is these dogs. Yes, and that's the cool part I love about these dogs, because if you didn't know a thing about them and you just take off their badges and all that stuff, they're just dogs.
They're dogs.
They just hang out. They love on you. They do the same thing your dog does. They yell at you when they get mad when you move them, or they get, all the stuff that, as you build a relationship with your animals, you have.
And Beaumont's big personality now is, if I'm sitting on the couch when we're off duty, it's just part of his personality. So people know these dogs they're in their vest. When they're in their vest, they know they work. When they're home, they're dogs.
I would imagine that's like that's their symbol. All right. It's on. It's time to work. It's no different than you humans. We as humans, you put on your suit, you put on your.
Okay, here we go.
Guess what? It's work mode, and this is that for them. And then when they get home and the vest comes off, the tail's wagging. Just like you want to go home and have a beer, go home. That's what the dogs are. All right, let's go home and hit our routine.
And Beaumont
take me for a walk or whatever it is.
Beaumont will sit there and tell me, like if I'm sitting on the couch and there's one of my other dogs sitting next to me, he'll sit there and bark at me or talk to me saying, that dog needs to go. I need right there. So they have personalities.
And they're intuitive too. And that's the thing too. And that's part of the training, because at the end of the day, they're just dogs. But when they're working, they truly are. They sense when there's something upsetting. They sense that, and they know, their training kicks in and know how to react to those things.
Yes.
When they see people, they've trained in on cues and clues, just like investigators are and everybody else that's doing things.
Well, the process for these dogs is they get to pick what job they want.
Yeah.
It's a one dog, one person.
Okay. So it kind of finds them, so to speak.
And then we have to interview, like I'm interviewing for the third dog that we've been talking about.
But she's very excited to meet.
I am. We've been matched. I mean, we've been doing stuff together for a year, going up and visiting and checking, making sure that we're still a match.
You've kind of hung out, but you haven't.
I am interviewing with this dog.
So is this dog going to be your dog afterwards?
Yes.
Okay, so is this going to be Beaumont's
successor?
Okay.
So,
but you'll still have Beaumont.
Yes.
Because that's how this works. Is Beaumont is Gina's dog until Beaumont is no longer with us.
Correct.
Now, how long he works as a DA dog is as long as he is able and willing and wanting to. It's kind of up to Beaumont at this point.
It's up to Beaumont. So and Beaumont's doing different things. He's knock on wood, we haven't had to do much crisis response, or we haven't been, but we've been doing peer support, doing different things, going out in the community. So he's still active, and he'll hang out in my office. And then when people come in, we're greeting, and Kiki's the same way.
Yeah.
But this new dog, he's coming down this weekend to see how he likes our house and everything.
Sure.
So he's still interviewing, and then we'll know then.
Has Beaumont met this dog yet? Because there's another variable.
Yeah, no, he hasn't. So he gets to meet him this weekend.
Okay. But Beaumont has been
Beaumont's
pretty,
just like whatever.
pretty good around other animals.
He's great.
That's one of the things, the temperament of all these dogs. They all of these dogs don't get rattled easy. That's part of the training that they do is when the crying and the loud things hit, these dogs are trained not to get startled.
Yeah, I mean, and as long as the handler stays calm too, that helps their dog.
Yeah, the handler's the key on that one.
So if the dog looks at you like, what is going on?
And this is something, and this is kind of where I'm a little jealous of you a little bit, because I mean, don't get me wrong, you got a hard job and what you see and deal with every day, but you kind of have a dog with you everywhere you go. Like, no matter the dog's, Beaumont's your life. Like, where Gina is, Beaumont is not far behind. And that's pretty much 24/7.
Correct.
And I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of cool that you get, I mean, at some point, I'm sure you're like, I just want a minute of peace to watch my own thing and not have a dog demanding my life. But at the same time, that's your own personal mental health. Those days you have a sucky day, there's Beaumont at your side beckoning.
And he'll lay under my desk at my feet. So I find myself that when I'll put my feet on him and rub him, I find myself doing that, and I'm like, wow.
It's your own catharsis.
It is. It's like, okay.
This whole train thing does work. There's something to this. We ought to look into this.
Yes.
But folks, this is where we're going to listen. And please contribute. If when the golf tournament comes up here, salsa if you go, you have a DA Dogs Facebook page.
We do have a Facebook page, Courthouse Dogs.
Yeah, like and follow that.
Yes.
I imagine there you can reach out if you want to get some salsa and help out. But if you'd like to, even if you say, hey, I'm here, I was on the radio, heard, I'd like to cut a check to this program and help out.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing, because every dime you spend goes to training, to getting the next generation of these dogs, but also taking care of the immediate needs of these dogs, and ultimately promoting this program so at some point we don't have to beg you for the money. You've already paid for it through your taxpayer money.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
And it's been amazing. Like I said, we've had amazing support. Like I said, we're on our third generation. And without the community, we would not be able to do that. No funding from the state whatsoever for these dogs.
Well, and here's the thing I also, because, every time you try things and new programs and experiments or whatever, there's always good and a few bad.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you hope the good outweighs the bad, but to see if it's I have yet to find a bad thing with the DA Dog program. Like, what drawback is there? If there is one, I have not seen it. It seems like every angle of this thing is a win-win-win. Like, there's nothing but benefit from it, and that's why I love this so much.
Right.
Is like it just makes sense. It's just like, duh. What are we thinking? Why weren't we doing this from day one? Why isn't this not only a concept, but more than a concept? This is an integral part of the day-to-day operations of the district attorney, not every district attorney's office.
It would be great if every district attorney's office could do it. But we've talked about it in the past that they start these programs, then they find out that it takes
dedication. It is expensive, and it takes people, because, like you said, Gina, this isn't a job for you. It's a life now.
Yes, it
is. Even not happening, but if someone said, Gina, you're no longer at the DA's office tomorrow, guess what? You got Beaumont. It's the
I would still
life.
find a way to use these dogs with different agencies,
so
whatever I could do.
So that's a different mindset.
Yes.
This isn't a 9-to-5 job. This is, however, every DA's office should have a Gina Yeager and doing it. You know what I mean? I just think, believe me, but I just think there would be enough people that would love that career field and love doing what you do. That I see some stuff, but I'm hanging out with dogs every day.
Yeah.
I'm every room I walk into, everyone loves me. I mean, I bet there's not a room you walk into, people are mad at you.
No,
Never.
But they don't notice me.
Oh, that's true too. You are second banana.
Yeah, they'll say hi to Beaumont, and, and then they'll look up and they're like, "Oh, hi."
Oh,
and
hi,
like,
Gina. You're here too.
But
I'll take that.
We have amazing dedication from all of our people that are handlers. We have 15 handlers that help with these dogs.
Sure.
4 dogs, 15 handlers. So there's dedication. And like you said, this isn't an 8-to-5.
Yeah.
If you're a handler, it's 24/7, 365.
You're living.
Yes.
Your partner goes home with you. Your partner is your family member.
So we have really good handlers that have dedicated that have stepped up and said, okay, I'm going to take on primary, which is the one where they go and they live with you and you're responsible for food and all of that.
Sure.
So we have amazing, amazing people that have stepped up and are like, we want this to go.
But they also see the good in what
Yes.
they're doing. And that,
Yes.
I mean, but my argument is it's not a bad gig. You get to hang out with dogs all day. Like, it's fun. I mean, it's like you're raising a life and like anything else. And there's an emotional gambit because we all love our pets, and these pets, yes, it's your coworker by day. It's your dog at night, and your Bubba.
Yeah, I mean, there's days where me and Beaumont are like, okay, me and you need to have a separation for a couple of hours, so another handler will come get him. But
and then at the same time, you're also the mom, which means you're the caretaker, which means anytime Beaumont has a sniffle or something, your mom mode kicks in and everything else, and that runs the emotional gamut.
It does.
But at the same time, when times are tough, that dog is, you know what I mean? It's just through thick and thin, you have a companion.
I can tell you.
And it's worth all the other
Yes.
stuff to have it.
I can tell you that there's days that you wonder if you're doing something, and then there's the reminder. You have that in your back mind. Am I making a difference? And then somebody will come up and say, Beaumont, Kiki, Duke, Tina, Max, Mackenzie, Lincoln, one of our dogs has made a difference in their life.
Do I need to update my cards?
No,
I think I'm
Max, Mackenzie, Lincoln, and Lydia were our first generation.
Okay.
So they have all retired.
Okay.
And a couple of them are gone.
I've only got 4 on my roster right now.
So one of them, somebody will say, these guys made a difference. And about the time that you're thinking that you're not making the difference, somebody steps up and says, no, you guys are doing an amazing job. And yesterday, they're like, we've never met these dogs, but we've heard what work they do. And that was reassurance. And it's like, okay, they are making a difference.
Word's getting out.
Word's getting out, and people are talking about how they've been helped.
I hope before I leave this earth that this is something that's a commonplace in every district attorney's office.
Me too.
And because there's too much evidence, there's too much positive results to not, it's worth the expense.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth the time. It's worth the effort. I get it. Yeah, it's a lot of money. But you know what? The rewards you reap from it are well worth the dollars spent.
Yes.
I would argue that if you asked every deputy district attorney in the 5th Judicial District Office, they said they found benefit from these dogs on at least one case, if probably not 500.
Right.
You know what I
and
mean?
it helps the employees. I mean, we all see bad things at our job.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they're having a bad day, the dogs know it, so they want to go visit and just kind of give them some time to decompress.
I'm about to say, you're probably a little mental health for your own staff.
Yeah. So peer support is amazing with these guys.
It's been a crappy day. Let's go to Gina's office and hang out for a minute.
It's like, okay, I'm going to go back in my office, just play with the dogs.
Well, if you play your card right, let's do this, but let's work it in your favor. Like, bring you a coffee, bring you a Coke, bring
I need to do that.
A gag, maybe a one of those office day, like the coffee cup full of Hershey Kisses, something like that.
We need to do that.
Or maybe
I never thought about that.
You know what? Beaumont needs a taste too. Maybe a thing of dog bones as well while we're talking.
I have to stop people from treating the dogs.
I'm about to say that's
like,
the big thing is the dog's on a strict diet and everything else. So maybe talk to Gina first before you do that.
You can bring them, but I'll give them to him.
But yes, but maybe find out what Beaumont's favorite things that he's allowed to have are, and then hook up on those.
Fruit. They like fruit. Apples are good.
What about toys? Is he a toy guy?
He likes to cuddle with the squishy ones.
Yeah.
He will put his arm around them and hug them when he's laying down. Kiki loves to play.
Okay.
Duke loves
Are
to
they
play.
chewers? Because that's what I found my lab. Like, I give them soft toys, and she loves them, but would destroy them in about 25 seconds.
Some of the other will tear them apart. They're like fun, but Beaumont likes to cuddle them. He doesn't chew them up, tear them up. He's not very runny or anything. He's like,
he's kind of less is
I'm
more.
done. He'll run around in circles for me, and then he'll come lay on the couch.
He's the survivalist dog,
Yeah.
where survivalists use the minimum amount of energy effort to get what they need to get done. Like, if you ever watch Alone or those shows, you'll get some people like they literally they conserving energy and things.
Yes.
Beaumont's of that ilk.
Beaumont will maybe, if you throw a ball, will get it once, and then when you throw it again, he looks at you like, I brought it to you.
Like,
you go get it.
Now the second time's on you, dummy.
Yeah, and then the other dogs will fetch for a while.
Sure.
Lincoln, my first dog, would fetch until ran out of
So you had to
energy.
shut
He would-
Lincoln down, yeah.
But each dog is different, but Beaumont's just like, nope, I got it once. You're on your own.
But that's what makes them wonderful at what they do in
Yes.
the temperament there. But so Beaumont's a man of leisure.
He's more of a cuddler than a retriever.
Yes.
So that's what his job is. So
Good deal. But that's cool, and that's the cool part of this stuff and stuff. So I folks, please reach out if you'd like to get more involved. I'm telling you, if you're looking for a place to donate money that will make a huge impact, the DA Dog program is definitely the way to go here. To be honest, I feel like we shouldn't have to be asking you for the money for this one. Like, I feel like this is something that our legislators should be funding. That should be a staple. And I know they're all about to head to Santa Fe here next week.
Fingers
crossed. It's a 60-day session. I'm sure you guys have put a few bees in the bonnets of some of our legislators about fighting for some of these things in Santa Fe. Here,
we're hoping that with some more northern New Mexico DA's offices having the dogs, that helps us because it's northern New Mexico.
They'll listen to them.
Yes.
That in the political world, they've
Right.
got more. They got a louder voice than you do right now.
But we do have stats and everything, so we can, back up what we're saying about these
Sure.
dogs. So,
And-
we are looking for sponsors for the golf tournament. So anybody interested in
It's
sponsoring
never
the golf
too early
tournament.
to get on that.
No.
When is it? It's in
October.
October. I knew it's later
Yeah.
in the fall, but I was like, but now's the time if you're interested, sponsor and get tee boxes or title sponsors,
Mhm.
and of course those are perks of sponsors.
Yes.
You get to put teams in and do all that.
You get your picture with the dogs.
And you get your advertising. The earlier you do it, you get your
Yes.
advertising. So when Gina comes on the radio, we can talk about how great your business is
Yes,
for
yes,
supporting
yes.
it, and on the T-shirts and flyers
Everything,
and all that.
yes.
So that's believe it or not, the earlier you do that, it makes Gina and people like lives a little easier.
It does make my life easier.
But definitely, if you've experienced them firsthand, either in a case or hanging out at the library,
Right.
then you get exactly what we're talking about here. And I just, it to me, this is one of those things, and this is why I get so stumpy on this, because I'm like, this just makes too much dang
know.
sense. Why are we not throwing all our eggs in this basket right now? Because tell me why we shouldn't.
Right.
And if money's the issue, I'm like, screw you. We got more money we need to do these things.
Right.
Where are we going to put this? You have found money to do this thing.
Where
let's
there's
find
a
money.
will, there's a way.
Yeah.
And I've always said that Beaumont, Kiki, Tina, and Duke all make my job easier.
Mhm.
All of our advocates, even our DAs, it makes their job easier dealing with victims
Mhm.
and witnesses. Young, old, it doesn't matter. They don't care if you're little or you're big. They're going to love you no matter what.
That's the beauty of it.
Yes.
They don't matter. They see, and I'm going to take a stab at Beaumont and the other dogs. They sense. They see the person
Yes.
kind of sat in the room. They probably automatically just kind of saunter over that way and kind of sit by and wait and see
it's
what
not always the victim that we're thinking needs the dog.
Sure.
It's somebody else, and we're like, no, he's supposed to be over here, and it's like, no, they're going to the most stressed person.
Sure.
And it's like, okay, you
The
guys are
dog-
teaching me.
Right, the dog knows.
Yes.
Well, and that's what I love. Like I see those videos all the time of service dogs and various people that have seizures and things like that. The dogs can pick up on that before
it
and get them their
happens,
medicine or
yes.
get them to where they need to be so they can have their seizure safely. It's
Yes.
that dogs, they got that thing that we don't have to, and cats and other animals do too, but dogs are able to train them to
Yes.
focus it for our good. Cats a little
They-
different. That's why you don't see support cats. They're
No.
a little more stubborn.
Just like, oh, you're in pain. Okay.
But dogs are intuitive
Yes.
about that stuff, and to be honest, I don't know if we've tapped the full potential of what dogs, like how dogs could serve us in these various ways and things. I really think people that have difficulties in life living alone, dogs can change the game for those
Oh,
for a lot of
yeah.
those people.
Yeah.
And as someone that does like my own, my own space from time to time,
Right.
it sucks when you have to live life when you're constantly dependent on other people. And if these dogs, and I'm getting way past DA stuff here, but if we can find ways for dogs to do that for folks, why not? Because it's a win-win. We already got dogs and people that overpopulate and do all the things let's turn that into
Right.
lemonade, and let's make this into something where all these dogs just do their loving companion thing, but do it in a professional, actual healing and helping sort of way.
And the main thing I want to point out, I'm just going to throw this out there, is these dogs are trained to do this work. So not every dog can come into the courtroom and work.
You can't just bring Scruffy in for the thing. These are working dogs.
We've had people try and they start barking and then it ruins it.
Sure.
We don't want it to ruin it for our dogs that are very trained, or for the people that are needing these dogs in the courtroom. Or any place.
Well, and this is the thing too, is these dogs are life forms too. They have feelings, emotions, everything you have, they have too. And your dog in your home and how it acts is one thing. You put it in a different environment that's familiar, it may not be in that same mindset.
Correct.
And this is where Beaumont and the other dogs, they've been through this. They've been training. There was hundreds of hours of them going through stuff like this long before Gina even got hold of
Correct.
Beaumont. That's what we're talking
I would not bring I would never bring my home pets to any of my office work.
It's just not built. They're not built for that.
Built for that.
Now, that being said, when they get home, it's probably Belmont's best friend is down there.
Yes, they're great at home and they're cuddly at home, but they would not do good in situations.
And that's why we're
office.
talking. Even though dogs have the instinct, if you don't train it, it's just like, in theory, you could be a police officer and walk in and we'll give you a badge and gun and walk in every day. But if you have no idea of the training and all that,
do not have the patience.
then you're not going to be very good at it. And this is literally what we're talking about with these dogs. If this dog's never been in the courtroom, never been around people, never dealt with that environment, it's probably going to not do so well the first time it does it.
That is correct. I could not be a police officer. I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah. But humans are the same way.
Right.
It's just, look, I'm not cut out to be a district attorney, just like Gina probably wouldn't want to sit here and do this for 3 hours. So.
Nope, I have to have my dog moving. I gotta
go. And dogs are the same way.
Right? Yes.
Excellent. I just saw the time. Shoot. Is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to cover that we just got sidebarred on?
No, we're good. Thank you for having us, of course, again. We appreciate it.
Yes. DA Dogs, do the Facebook search. I think you do DA Dogs, 5th Judicial District, DA, anything like that should pop right up. And please like and follow. Get some salsa right now.
Right. For Super Bowl.
And we're a couple weeks away from that. Hey, my Commanders are still in it. Saturday night, big game. So
as long as the Cowboys are out, I'm happy.
That they are.
Just kidding.
But I'm married to one, so a Cowboys
My
fan.
husband is a huge Cowboys fan.
Yeah, life's fun in our house. Although my wife, now the Cowboys are out, full on rooting for now that they're good again and exciting and people like them.
Right.
She's like, I'll root for them.
That's good. That's good.
I got my Terry McLaurin shirt.
Right.
But anyway, thank you, Gina, as always.
Thank you for having us.
We'll see you next time.
Alrighty.
And anything else we can do, let us know.
I will. Thank you.
All right, 9:58. Let's do this. Let's do your Chaves County sports update, quick break, and then they'll kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Course. This year also includes an archery course. Gun boards, raffles, door prizes, and lunch is provided. For more information or to sign up, call 575-513-0144. Support the Artesia 4-H and sign up today for the Freedom Shoot, January 18th.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details, 2nd and Sycamore, and 1309 Southeast Main.
Artesia General Hospital's Rehabilitation Center is here to help you recover and get back to the activities you love. Rehabilitation services include physical, occupational, and speech therapy, all led by experienced, licensed therapists. From symptom management to patient education, customized home exercise programs, and family support, Artesia General Hospital's integrated approach to rehabilitation is designed to facilitate your best possible recovery so you can get back to work, back to play, and back to life. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/rehab or by calling 575-736-8174.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
.com. I'm Rich Thomason. A Trump-Xi phone call. That story in a moment, but first, the Israel-Hamas ceasefire proposal That's now in the hands of Israel's cabinet. The plan, which would see the phased release of hostages held by Hamas in Gaza, as well as the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners by Israel, was approved earlier by Israel's security cabinet. President-elect Trump is upbeat about that phone call he had with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Mr. Trump writing on Truth Social, the call was a very good one for both China and the USA. President Biden commuting the sentences of almost 2,500 people convicted of what are described as nonviolent drug offenses.
The president said he's seeking to undo disproportionately long sentences compared to the sentences they would receive today under current law, policy, and practice. With his latest round of clemency actions that cut short federal prison terms, Mr. Biden has now issued more individual pardons and commutations than any other president. And he has said more could be coming before he leaves office on Monday. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Fire-ravaged areas of Southern California now having to deal with mudslides. One home that survived the flames was broken apart by a cascade of mud and rock.
Hazardous materials teams and cadaver dogs are combing the areas block by block. Some people have gone back.
Why do I deserve this? I don't know. I don't think I deserve it, but God bless everybody else.
Enrique Balcazar in Altadena could not believe what he saw.
Every house is burnt down on my block, except for my house.
Balcazar says the garage door burned a bit, but the garage didn't burn. I'm Ed Donahue.
Stocks higher on Wall Street. The Dow is up 327 points. The Nasdaq trading 252 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Anti-corruption investigators seeking a court warrant to formally arrest South Korea's impeached president, the BBC's Shaima Khalil, in Seoul.
A group of Yoon Suk-yeol's supporters have gathered outside the detention center where he'd spent a second night. The Corruption Investigation Office has again called Mr. Yoon for questioning this morning, but his lawyers have said he refused to appear. Mr. Yoon remains in the detention center, where investigators are expected to seek an extension for his arrest warrant, which would allow them to keep him in custody for up to 20 days. Since his arrest on Wednesday, Mr. Yoon has refused to take part in the questioning for alleged insurrection and abuse of power over his short-lived attempt to impose martial law last month. Separately, his impeachment trial at the Constitutional Court continues, with the third hearing scheduled for next week.
Visiting Taiwan, former Vice President Pence urging President-elect Trump to renew his pledge of support for Taiwan in the event of a Chinese invasion. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. Among the pro sporting events to be impacted by the Southern California wildfires.
The PGA Tour is moving the Genesis Invitational out of Riviera Country Club next month because of the deadly wildfires that have decimated parts of Los Angeles. Riviera is in part of the evacuation zone. The 99-year-old course was not damaged. The tour expects to announce a new location in the coming days. It is relocating after consulting with the title sponsor, the club, and the Tiger Woods Foundation that hosts the tournament. It will be the first time since 1998 that the PGA Tour's tournament in Los Angeles is not played at Riviera. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
China has a lot of people, but not quite as many as before. Its population falling for the third straight year, a trend that points to further demographic challenges for the world's second most populous nation. China now faces both an aging population and a growing shortage of working-age people. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Thank you, Jocelyn. Sean's off spending some time with his youngest son this morning at school today, so he'll be back later on. But happy Friday, everybody. Hope all of you are having a wonderful day. It's Friday. Got the weekend ahead here. Going to be a little chilly later on, but not little, a lot chilly. But big weekend for sports. If you're an NFL fan, particularly if you're a fan of one of the teams in the playoffs still, but which this is I haven't had the feelings I've had since like high school, because that was the last time my team was really relevant. So I'm not gonna lie, divisional playoff weekend and I have my team still in the hunt. I don't know what to do with my hands. This is new territory. I haven't done this since high school. Last time my team was a 91 when they won the Super Bowl. That's the year I graduated high school. So it's I'm a Commanders fan, Redskins fan, now Commanders fan, and it's just exciting for me. So I'm psyched about Saturday. I've been all week just like, it's kind of in the age of social media and all this stuff. It's been kind of neat to follow. It's like yesterday, I think I was talking with Sean, we were talking about Twitter and how, I really stay on Twitter because it is the greatest place to find like those kind of sports updates and things. And so that's generally, and so over the lean years, I'd always follow because it's just neat to, and I root for my team. I love them, and, in the hopes of, but it was never with the excitement and fervor of which I had this season with this team. And now that, the spotlight is on the team, and the rest of the NFL and the country's looking at them and thinking, hey, they might be pretty good now. It's just neat to see all that, and it's just fun. I'm just excited, and I can't. This is the beauty of being a Commanders fan right now. Everything is gravy. Everything is gravy. We've way exceeded expectations. We have. And it kind of makes Washington a dangerous team. And this is the part people don't. Now, don't get me wrong. Detroit is way favored and will probably win that game on Saturday. I mean, just let's be honest. Detroit is, to be honest, Washington right now is where Detroit was 2 years ago. Although I say a little bit higher, but same kind of parallel trajectory here where when Dan Campbell came in and re-inspired that culture there in Detroit. New ownership with a new GM, new coach, new quarterback. It's completely done the same thing in Washington on a much larger scale, I would argue, though, because, don't get me wrong, Detroit, they're basement dwellers for a long time, and my team has Super Bowls, and I don't recall Detroit having any, but so I understand, but at the same time, to understand where Washington was at one point to where they went to and then come back from that is, to me, and that's the part people don't get. And people like the part that gets me, and this is, I know fans of other teams are going to just say, but this is what I'm trying to tell you, this Washington culture is like, because I've lived it my whole life. last week here when Washington went to Tampa Bay to play the Bucks, there were quite a few Washington fans in the stands in Tampa Bay, much more than I think people realized. And after they won that game, there was like literally a takeover in the stadium where there was a whole huge section, the concourse, they're singing "Hail to the Commanders," and it's a thing, and people are like, wow, where these people been? And I'm like, they've been there. They've just been angry for the last 20 years, and now they've, for the first time, in some of these people's cases, ever in their life, they only heard the stories and watched the film and the footage and hear old people like us talk about how great the Redskins are or were, and all that stuff, so they're seeing it for the first time, and you don't get it's. Like, I watched a video yesterday because I'm a Redskins fan. I mean, this is, and I was ready to run through a wall afterwards. But it was one of these old NFL films, pieces about the Redskins when they won the Super Bowl. This would have been, I think, 88 maybe, this one. It was the year that the Lions, or was it 91? It might have been 91. It was 91, I think, because it was 91 was the year that we beat the Lions in the playoffs and made them mad. I think this was the 88 one where the Vikings, and this is where they had the Hogs. Yeah, because Riggins was still around, so this was way earlier. And they were playing the Vikings in a playoff. And of course, for folks that don't know, the Washington offensive line, known as the Hogs, and if you're of a certain age, that was their whole thing. And so Vikings were talking major smack that week about, of course, being the Hogs, like, we're going to butcher them up and meat and all that, and it infuriated the Washington Redskins offensive line. They were mad, and so they went to that playoff game, and it's a great NFL Films piece, and they're talking with Joe Theismann and I think it's Rick Dockwalker was the other one of the other former players they're talking to in the piece, and they're just saying, yeah, they said they're not going to So for the first series of that drive, they just calling 44 gut, 42 gut. They ran basically the same play over and over again, and it was just John Riggins running right up the gut at these guys. And the offensive line literally just mowed down the Viking defense, and John Riggins single-handedly. And a matter of fact, the cool part was that also started another thing. One of Riggins' nicknames was the Diesel. And some fan had rigged up some horn that they didn't. The players like, we have no idea how he got it powered up or whatever. But every time Riggins started making one of these runs, you'd start hearing this diesel horn going, and it just fired the place up. And RFK was just going crazy. And then Riggins literally, after he just basically mowed over the Vikings defense, he literally walked out to midfield, took a bow, and then walked off and just shut up the Vikings, all the smack talking they were doing, and that place. And then the next round of the playoffs, Washington would face Dallas to go in. And I think this was the 82 season, actually. And that's when there's a famous clip, if you ever see RFK Stadium, and it's literally shaking up and down, and the fans are going, "We want Dallas. We want Dallas." And it was after that Minnesota game, after they just told, basically after the Vikings were talking smack all week, just put the boot to them people. And said, and it just fired. And I was like, that's Washington culture. And that place was rocking. And they went on and winning Super Bowls. And I said, that was Washington culture. You're going to see that coming back. So as a fan of this, I'm excited. Not about tomorrow or Saturday. Yeah, tomorrow. I hope they win. They're probably, I still think there's a glimmer of hope. They're going to they're just built like that. They're going to mess around and win this game. But I'm a realist. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. Because this team is, I'm telling you, they're not. I know people are like, this guy's homering up big time. Yeah, maybe. But I'm telling you, this you're not looking at the Commanders as making a playoff run this year. You're looking at, I think, the next Kansas City Chiefs, New England Patriots, the next era of those teams. And I think Washington's going to be it for the next 5 to 10 years here. So that's what I'm excited about. Because, and this is another point I want to make, too, is Washington's got tons of cap space, and they got some talent on that roster. This is the worst roster Jaden Daniels is going to have around him. They're going to build up on the deficiencies they've got, and next year,
I mean, yeah, there's going to be a sophomore, there's going to be tape and all that, but I don't think that matters with this kid. He's built different. I think he's going to figure it out. I think he's got, and this is another thing, and I know I'm going to shut up because I got a whole thing, and I know I'm way homered out, but I'm sorry, I got a lot of this in me. I'm excited. But I think he's built different. I think he's got, like everyone says, he's Lamar Jackson. He's, whatever they've compared. I'm like, he's got the legs and a lot of Lamar characteristics, but the way he attacks the game and the way he thinks and how he does things is way more Tom Brady world to me. He's always 6 steps ahead of everybody. He's not thinking about this to go to there. And his demeanor is he's unflappable, and that's different. So, and that's why I think this team is going to be the next Patrick Mahomes and Chiefs and all that. That's what's going on. All right, Bill Williams is patiently waiting, and I gotta stop fanboying out. So let me shut my hole and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Strong cold front on the way in today. We have a high wind warning in effect through tonight. Wind gusting at 35 to 45 miles an hour, maybe as high as 50. We'll get some blowing dust across the area too, but we will have sunshine, low 60s on the afternoon high. Mid-30s and still pretty windy overnight. Upper 50s and sunny on Saturday. Upper 30s for Sunday and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 35 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 76% with winds out of the southeast at 5 miles per hour. We do have a wind advisory that will kick in at 10 o'clock this morning, and that will remain in effect through 4 p.m. this afternoon. Excuse me. I had a sneeze build, and I was trying to fight it, but it was not to be. Sorry about that. For today, it's going to be windy, hence the wind advisory. We are looking at widespread blowing dust kicking up here after 11 o'clock this morning. The good news for the day is this one little sentence: sunny and a high of 63. That part's nice. The rest, not so much. Winds are going to be blowing out the west 15 to 20 this morning, increasing 20 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour later this afternoon. So it's a coming. Hasn't started yet, but it's a coming. For tonight, we're looking at clear skies with an overnight low of 29 degrees, west winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, we're looking at mostly sunny skies, 52 for high, so not too bad tomorrow, with north winds 5 to 15. But then tomorrow night, things get cold. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies, overnight low of 18. North winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. They'll drop down 5 to 10 after midnight. Sunday, partly cloudy, high of only 34 degrees with winds out of the east 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday night, we're looking at partly cloudy skies with an overnight low of 18 degrees. For Martin Luther King Jr. Day Monday, mostly sunny, 34 are high for Monday, so not warming up. We're looking at an overnight low of 15 Monday night, and then Tuesday, 37 for a high, 18 for an overnight low Tuesday night. And then finally, by Wednesday of next week, we're back up into 50, 51 around that time, temperature frame. All right, it is 18 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then Chavis County Manager Bill Williams will join us, talking all about a busy county commission meeting yesterday. Also, they had the selection of the replacement and state representative for State Rep Jared Hembry here as well. So we got lots to talk about here with Bill. So we'll do that here in 3 minutes. Don't go away.
Hey, Roswell, Happy New Year. Roswell Ford has a New Year's resolution you're going to love. We resolve to sell more new Fords in 2025, so we're going to make it super fun, super fast, and super easy, just for you. In fact, we'll give you the price we'd give to a friend or family member right up front. So bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it, because at Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? We can help. We'll take your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, and even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Huge savings, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance, plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
Space, the final frontier.
Hi, Captain. You can choose your space at Main Trailer Sales.
Fascinating. Don't cling on to that old camper. The logical choice. New Durangos, Montanas, Cougars, and Passports from Main Trailer Sales. They allow space and comfort. Boldly explore like never before.
Beam on board to that perfect camper.
Don't go camping without us. Live long and explore.
Main Trailer Sales. Don't go camping without us.
You have a life, places to go, things to do, people to see, but it's hard to enjoy life when you have pain. You don't have to live that way. Softwave therapy from Premier Chiropractic in Roswell can help you. Softwave's cutting-edge technology is non-invasive and can help your body heal. This new technology uses therapeutic energy waves to activate the body's dormant stem cells to promote natural healing. Sessions are quick with short treatment times. Start healing today. Call Premier Chiropractic at 623-2900 or visit healthyroswell.com.
Strong women need strong partners to help them lead their healthiest lives. At Artesia General Hospital, Dr. Scott Beard and nurse practitioner Lori Crockett deliver compassionate, holistic care to women at every age and stage. From routine checkups to diagnostic testing and specialty services like urogynecology, you can expect the most innovative, personalized care close to home. Learn more about women's services at Artesia General Hospital online at artesiageneral.com/women or by calling 575-736-8394. Many women's services are also offered in Carlsbad.
At New Mexico Gas Company, we believe there's money hiding in your home. It's true. It's hiding in your insulation, in your water heater, and in your furnace. And New Mexico Gas Company can help you tap into that money with rebates up to $800 for high-efficiency natural gas improvements. Your energy costs will go down, and your wallet will thank you. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and we provide energy efficiency solutions to save you money. That's why we're here. Learn more at nmgcgetrebates.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 47.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Is this true? I'd say chances are about 50%. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Chaffetz County Manager Bill Williams back with us. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Mike.
You got a twofer this week since we had the pregame show.
The pregame show,
on, was it Tuesday or Monday this week?
Yeah.
And now we got the postgame the Friday after, the Monday morning quarterbacking on Friday.
Monday morning quarterbacking, exactly. Yeah, it's been a pretty busy week. It's been pretty busy. Well, I'm gonna just announce this. I had a new grandson on the 9th.
That's right.
And so I've been in and out of town anyway, and then all this. Oh my gosh, it's been really busy. And
personal and professional life just got piled up at the same time.
How it goes. It's all real busy. And then yesterday was Tina's birthday, so I mean everything all at once. So. But good. Anyway, could be much worse.
Well,
very blessed.
But here's the thing: is after a Friday, it was a productive week. Like a good week overall.
Goodness.
We got a lot done. So.
Yes, got a whole lot done. And before we get started, I would like to. I told Alex that I would point out a few things for him.
Yes.
Pine Lodge Road is planned to be closed tomorrow morning for repaving at the low dip at La Jolla. That part of that washed out, and we've had it. We've got the contractors scheduled. We figured Saturday was the easiest to avoid the biggest problems, and it shouldn't be all day, but they do need to make some repairs there. And
we're at on Pine Lodge again? I'm sorry, east or west?
It's East Pine Lodge where the big dip goes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. He says at La Jolla, but La Jolla turns off to the right and just beyond that.
Okay.
So anyway,
it's probably not a very busy area, but the people that live in that area and
people that live in that area and the de facto truck route, I know that they're going to have it marked and everything, hopefully trying to alleviate that, but it's a very short-term thing. They just redid Pine Lodge Road a couple of months ago, and then big rain came and
the earth
kind of washed out some stuff. So they're made arrangements to get that fixed.
Well, good deal. And I imagine doing it over the weekend versus during the weeks probably.
Well, the contractors seem to think that was going to be the least offensive.
Impact on the day-to-day stuff.
The other one, now this is going to take a while. This is going to take 4 to 6 months, but the Brasher Road Bridge, which we've been working on, I've personally been working on that for about 5-6 years. And we got a contractor, then the rains came, and then, lots and lots of different things. Of course, we needed to keep the road open to the landfill because of all the different loads going to the landfill after the flooding, and so we postponed that. It appears that now is a good time to close the Brasher Road Bridge going over the Hondo, get that all repaired. I hate to say pray that it doesn't rain, but pray that it doesn't rain that impacts that.
That's
pray that
right.
it rains on the farm fields and reasonable stuff.
Maybe we could put a little dome around that spot there.
Yeah, something like that. And the third thing that Alex wanted me to let everyone know is debris removal. They're shooting for one more pass in the last week of January. So if you live out in the county and you have a pile of debris that didn't get picked up, call Alex or call the road department. Call Joe at the road department.
And they'll have it.
Let them know where it's at, and they'll put a pin. They'll send a pin to the contractor.
Great.
Department of Homeland Security Emergency Management hired a contractor to pick all that up.
Perfect.
And so,
but you got to get her done before this last week of January.
Yeah, because they paused for a while, focused on some other things, and now they're saying, okay, it appears that we still have enough out in the county that we can do one more pickup.
Oh, great.
And so that'll be a good thing.
So get in touch with the county. That would be in the what department would that be? The landfill
road
department.
Yeah,
there. Call them.
They do solid waste, and they're the ones that are kind of interacting with the contractor as far as stuff. It has to be in the right of way, I believe.
Right. Don't make it hard for them to get to. Kind of make it into an exit. Like when you take out the trash, when the trash comes to get collected, where does that go? Put that there. Yeah.
So anyway, have one more opportunity to get the flood debris from your place picked up, and they'll be happy to do that for you at no charge.
Absolutely. So, and that way it's one less thing for you to worry about.
Yesterday we had our election of officers. We had to elect our chairman and vice chairman. This is the first time since I've been at the county, but I know that it happened in 1997, I believe it was, because they amended ordinance number 31 that tells how to take care of your county commission and your chairman and vice chairman. It says in the event that both of them leave at the same time, that does not happen often, but apparently Rory McMinn and Joe Adair must have left at the same time.
It happened once
because they created the procedure for doing that. So we elected an interim chairman at last month's meeting. The previous commission, there were two of them stepped off, two new ones came on.
Sure.
So it's not fair for them to choose who the chairman's going to be. It needs to be the active group.
People that have been there for a minute. Yeah.
But from December 31st is when Jeff Bilberry left as our chairman. So we would have a void and couldn't sign checks, those sorts of things.
So it left a bit of a little pickle there.
So we did an interim chairman, and that was Dara Dana, and she fulfilled her duties well. She did a good job, got all the checks signed, did everything, and she opened the meeting up yesterday and did this first determine the quorum, and then we went right into determining who is going to be the chairman and the vice chairman.
And pass the gavel.
And pass the gavel. Everyone literally changed seats right in the middle of the meeting. So Commissioner Dick Taylor is the chairman.
Very good.
And Commissioner Michael Perry is the vice chairman.
Very good.
So we're moving forward with that.
And they're, as far as term-wise, they're more of our senior leadership now in the commission. Yes.
Commissioner Taylor is starting his second term, and Commissioner Perry he's been in 2 years. So
gotcha.
So he's got his feet under him, and he's actually, often we see new commissioners and new elected officials with the deer in the headlight look. Commissioner Perry didn't do that. He's kind of impressive. I hope he's listening today because I kind of want to poke at him. Kind of impressive.
Kind of. Don't get too big-headed here.
Don't get too big-headed. No, he is doing a wonderful job. He's very engaged, and he kind of skipped right over the deer in the headlights look. He just jumped right in.
Hit the ground running and started doing what he got to do.
If yesterday's meeting is any indication, it's a very unusual meeting. Of course, we...
Part two of the meeting was the different...
appointed a new state rep. I mean, it's not something that you do very often.
And now we've done it twice in 2 years.
3 times.
3 times in the most recent years. So I forgot. The other one. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I forgot the senators.
And so that's something we don't do very often. And based on how well they performed yesterday, 2 brand new guys, their very first meeting, and they had a lot to do, and they did it well. So maybe they're all going to be no deer in the headlights. Look, we'll see.
Well, they got literally a good pile for their first meeting here. So.
Well, they did a really good job yesterday, and really looking forward to working with the new guys, and of course the older. How do I say that? Because I don't want to get beat
veteran.
The veteran. There you go. the veteran commissioners. Of course, they know what they're doing so well that. you don't have to worry about them. So once we got started, we did a proclamation for the Roswell High School football team. Champions Day was yesterday for Roswell High School football. That's an impressive group.
Good. Did the whole team come in and everything?
The whole team came in.
Great.
We had 3 generations of Lynn's because Coach Lynn,
a lot of Lynn's.
A lot of Lynn's. Coach Lynn Senior was our coach in Hagerman back in the day.
Yeah.
It was a while back in the day.
A minute ago.
Coach Lynn, Roswell High, Jeff Lynn was there, and then his son plays on the team. So 3 generations of Lynn's. Another couple of interesting factoids. Alex Palomino, our public services director, is father of quarterback Palomino from the Roswell High School team. So he was able to go up and hand off so that he could, share in that joy with his son.
Yeah.
That was a neat thing. And the other thing is Commissioner Perry was on the 87, 88, 89, played for Roswell High. He was quarterback part of the time. He was not quarterback when they won the state championship, but he was part of the team. Mickey Reeves days. He said, it's pretty hard not to win the championship when you had Mickey Reeves on your team.
Yeah.
But this team, everybody is such an athlete and really did a good thing. So that was an exciting
That's great.
thing.
So it's kind of neat because you kind of had, because back, like you said, that generation, Roswell High was a powerhouse then, and then they kind of had a lull there for some years. And now like a second wave here with Lynn and Jeff and everything. Yes. So it's kind of like seeing, the old and new together, the generation. It's just their family traditions of things, and you look at, and that's the great thing when you look at, and Goddard the same way, and Artesian, all these other schools, they got these histories, and so it's great to honor that when they do well.
I saw a really cool picture yesterday. It was the Roswell High School cheerleaders. Judy Smith was in the center, and everyone knows Judy Smith that lives in Roswell. So Judy Smith is in the center. They're wearing their Roswell High long dresses, practically, compared to today's cheerleaders. They were past their knees, I believe. Probably that heavy wool. I don't know how they were able to jump around much.
Poodle skirts.
And they were doing a little cheer. And in the back, it said, "Beat St. Pius," big banner like we used to do in school, with the tempera paints on a piece of paper, butcher paper. And the neat part about that is my son is a football coach for St. Pius, baseball coach, and has been a football coach. Currently, he's running the chains for St. Pius. He was doing the chains. He wanted to get back into that. So I sent that to him. Roswell, St. Pius, let's keep this competition going a little bit. So that was kind of a fun thing, but it was really neat to see one of the people that had been in Roswell forever, back when she was in high school, doing a cheer.
Yeah,
that was a really neat thing.
And then it's going to be funny. 20 years from now, they're going to be seeing these pictures y'all took on yesterday.
Yes,
and be looking the same way.
Yeah,
that's going to be great.
So that's all fun stuff. One of the things we did yesterday, because the house was packed and people were there to see the appointment for House Seat 59.
Yeah, that was the main event.
And the way we had the agenda set up, it was one of the last things on our agenda because it's other business.
Sure.
And we didn't.
It was a normal county commission meeting that just the planets aligned that, now we've got to have also a appointment meeting.
We added the last agenda item prior to 24 hours before the meeting, which we can do. Just change the agenda for the regular meetings. We didn't have to go through all the advertising of a special meeting and calling all that together, which is how we did it on the other one. So there was only one agenda item, so it went straight to that.
Yeah,
this time
the dates just aligned this time. So
other business is at the end of the agenda. So he said they made a motion to alter the agenda and move that item to number 1. So first thing we did was let people come up and, first thing that has to happen is we had 6 applicants.
Okay.
Ultimately, that there were a couple others that put their name in, pulled their name out.
Gotcha.
I think there were 3 actually.
But by the time the final list was completed, it was 6 altogether.
There were 6. And so the clerk, of course, researched and made sure each of them lived in the district and met the criteria. It had to be 21 years of age, had to be a registered voter, and had to live within the district. And she assured that all 6 of them were.
All met those criteria.
Then we wrote the number 1 through 6 on a piece of paper and held them up. The clerk did this for us. And she went around to each one of those people, and each one drew their their name.
So
they
random,
knew exactly when
a random pick of who goes first.
Who goes first, exactly. And some people have more luck than I'll ever have. So Shay Wagner was one of the people that requested this appointment when we did Jared Hembry.
Okay.
Shay Wagner was also one of the people that requested the appointment this time.
Okay.
Shay Wagner, if it weren't for bad luck, he'd have no luck at all. He drew number one last time. He drew number one first time.
Wow.
I mean, it has its pros and cons. But
maybe he wanted one. Maybe he's like, that's the one I wanted.
He actually did a very good job speaking. You know, last time he was kind of caught off guard.
I'm going to say this, now he's got one under his belt there, so it does.
This time he knew that possibly could happen, and it didn't affect him at all. He presented himself very well. So after they drew their lots and got their number, they went up and laid out the reasons why they thought that they should be considered for the appointment to the commission. And if they had a couple of people there for them, they would come up and speak as well and say, hey, you know, I've known this guy forever.
Right.
So we limited that to 5 minutes per person. Everyone was very considerate of that, and they stayed within the guidelines. You know, went 10 seconds over here and 10 seconds under
but no
here,
one's no one's trying to just blow past that.
And once that was done, then the commission began to ask some questions individually and of the group.
Gotcha.
And so they went through that. Let me go ahead and, if I can remember all six, I'll give you the names. So James Manat requested the appointment, did a wonderful job speaking to the commission. Everyone, it was pretty darn amazing how good of a group of people we had.
All six people were very qualified
it wasn't like,
people to
oh
do
my
the
gosh,
job.
what are we going to do? Every single one
They're
of
all
them
well qualified.
very well qualified, spoke well. We had no duds. I'll tell you that. Everybody was
felt like you'd pick any one of the six and you're in good hands.
Right,
yeah.
right, and which made the decision much tougher for the commissioners.
Well, ideally that's what I want. When I pick them, I want the best, and so this is why I'm thankful for our commission. But I'm glad they had to put a little work in yesterday to get the right people.
And they, of course, you know, everyone has their opinion of what is the most important thing at this time.
Yeah.
Any of those people could have done the job, and any of those people could have done well, led us well. It's obvious just based on their resumes and their presentations that any of them could have done well. At this time, the commission felt that the best choice was Mark Murphy.
Very good. So congratulations or condolences to Mark.
Poor Mark. He was already on his way to Santa Fe yesterday when I phoned him.
Well, his dance calendar just got really busy all of a sudden.
Oh my gosh,
so,
yes.
Yeah.
No, I was trying to connect him with the chief clerk of the House of Representatives, and so I was calling him. He was already in Santa Fe, on the way to Santa Fe, had spotty service, and so I mean he.
So literally left the meeting.
Literally had to get up there and go. I think he ate lunch, packed a suitcase.
I'm about to say, I hope he at least took a bag with him.
But the people were James Manat, Sarah MacArthur, Mark Murphy, Shay Wagner. You'd think I would remember all of these. Tracy De La Rosa and Mac Dyer.
Okay.
Who's a VFW guy.
Yeah, he's a president of the VFW.
Yeah, and each and every one of them did a wonderful job answering questions.
Yeah.
Each and every one of them had a wonderful resume.
I know some of those people, and they're all great people. Yeah, the ones I do know.
They are, and they're all engaged in what's going on in our community, and they should all get a pat on the back. When you see any of them, give them a pat on the back. Tell them, hey, thanks for stepping up and being willing to do this. Kind of like we were joking about Mark, you know, better pack a suitcase and go right now, because it was a.
Well, I hope the folks stay involved. I mean, just, you know.
Well, I think that they will, because they have a track record. You can listen to them. You know, Miss De La Rosa, for instance. I mean, she spoke really well, and you know, she laid out all the things she's been involved in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, that's just very impressive. These people didn't just wake up this morning and say, well, for my ego, I'm going to go down there and see if I can get an appointment. No, these people are all very
They're signing up to serve.
Every single one of them.
They're signing to serve, not signing up for the prestige or whatever, if that you want to call that.
That's correct. you know, Mr. Manat, you know, he's been on so many boards, and his resume even had an invention that he is a part of. You know, these are very top quality people.
Nice.
So our county is very thankful that that we have them here, that they're engaged,
Yep.
and that they're willing to do the work that they need to do. And they're not the only ones. I mean, our community's full of people like that. That's one of the things I really like about Roswell.
Sure. And I imagine our other local legislators, they're probably up there now helping to get him set up. And,
I hope so.
And kind of get him situated. They're all, because quite frankly, they're going to be fighting a lot of battles together here over the next 2 months. So
yes, they absolutely will be. So,
but we're after all said and done, it was after the long process and a great interview process, and able to, county commission was able to come up with a name, and they will go to represent us, hopefully for at least the rest of this term, and
Yes.
if they decide to run for the next term, they do so.
yeah, and it was a short turnaround. Obviously, we made every attempt to make sure that the general public knew. Of course, I came on the
Sure.
radio first thing, put an ad in the newspaper stating what the qualifications were, when to do it, how to
1
turn
week
it in.
ago today, we knew nothing of this.
We knew nothing, and we couldn't do this next week. We couldn't do
Yeah.
it the week after.
Yeah. If you would have
because
talked to
we
us
needed
last Friday, none of this was on anybody's radar.
We needed the representation, so we had to do it as quickly as possible. The
Yeah.
quickest way was to do it with Thursday's meeting. So we reached out to the community and said, get us all your information by Wednesday at 5 o'clock. And oh my gosh, we got a lot of interest,
Good.
a lot of phone calls, a lot of walk-in people.
That's good to hear.
And
'cause
it-
people care about our community.
So,
and want
so
to
we know
do
we
their
were
part.
able to reach them through our efforts, whether it was the newspaper or the radio or our Facebook page, all
Sure.
the different ways we tried. So we're thankful that we know we can reach people when we have to. I hope we don't ever have to reach people that quickly again.
I'm about to
However,
say, maybe we're due for everyone everyone has no issues for the
Yep.
next couple of years here.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yep.
is copacetic for the next
Yep.
couple of years.
2 years, and then the election takes place, and we don't have to deal with it. So after that, we went into our regular. We took a brief recess to let the place clear out, answer some questions.
Go to the bathroom, get some water.
press,
Yeah.
yes, all that kind of stuff.
Water and fed, and get started again.
So the very first thing we had on our agenda was a public hearing. In every odd-numbered year, we have to do a public hearing regarding a potential low-income tax rebate ordinance. We've never done this. I don't think that there's a county in the state of New Mexico. There might be one. I don't quite remember it. Every year I say, I'm going to find out if there really is one or not. But the problem's kind of twofold with this. First of all, there's no definition of what is low income. And so, that's kind of arbitrary.
Sure.
If you create an ordinance, then you're going to have to decide what low income is. If Chaves County says, well, low income for our county is XYZ.
Yeah.
Well, that may not be what people would like to hear.
Yeah.
Or if you take the national average, that may not be the appropriate thing.
Sure. Well, and cost of living is different, and
Right.
there's a lot of variables there.
And of course, property tax that comes in. This is a property tax rebate. Property tax is what paves our roads, builds our schools, hospital. All those things that we have come to enjoy in our communities
Absolutely.
have to be paid for somehow. And if you continue to not charge people for that stuff, which the state helps us enough in
Sure.
that manner, the state and the federal government not paying their part or
Sure.
allowing others to not pay reduces that revenue that we need to maintain.
Well, and that's the thing people, and I hope most people realize, is when you look at how municipalities get income, the city, gross receipts is their big draw. The county does get some of those, but their big money earner is property taxes. That's where the main, and so that's the stuff we're talking about. Is you got to understand where the money's coming
Right,
from.
and there's
to
so
do-
many opportunities for exemptions and all that,
Yeah.
depending on what line of what you're doing with the property, that kind of thing.
Sure.
So we have to be very cautious how many reductions that we do.
Sure.
This is something that, in the long run, doesn't really benefit the community.
Sure. But this is why something like the counties deal with this versus the cities and all that, because of
Right.
this property tax stuff.
And I know some people think their property tax is too high, and some people have had theirs evaluated, and we're always receptive to that. And
Sure.
sometimes they have actually reduced them. So it's not anything like that. But I know once upon a time, many years ago, I was asked to consider taking a job in Washington. And I knew right away that I would not be able to live inside the Beltway. I'm going to live outside the Beltway because I can't afford inside the Beltway.
Yeah.
And then I found out property values and everything. I was going to be way outside the Beltway.
Yeah.
And so
like West Virginia?
Yes, exactly. And
I grew up there. I know about it.
Just to have a car back east, there is a tax on having a car. Back when I did this, it was $1,200 a year for your car.
Oh, yeah.
That was the tax on your car.
Well,
and I don't recall which state it was. $1,200 a year. I was going to have to live so far away. I was going to get up before sunrise, drive to a train station, ride the train into the subway, get on the subway, go all the way into Washington for a new job that they created, be there before everybody else, be the last one to leave, do this thing in reverse. I would get home after my kids were in bed. I would leave before they got up. What is the point of that? But when I looked at what the property tax, the value of real estate, the property taxes they charge you, the tax they charge you on your car, the sales taxes.
Oh, and by the way,
we live in a great place.
Once you have the car, then you got to go through the emission stuff and all that. In Virginia, they all have different rules on all that stuff.
So you know,
and that's not uncommon. My dad commuted 2 hours every day to work at various times. That's just the nature of the beast there.
And then for me, just dealing with that many people, that was never going to happen anyway. But we have it good here. We have. I love rural America. I love Chaves County. I love Roswell. And, you know, we do have to pay some taxes. We aren't overtaxed.
Sure.
So anyway, that was rejected once again. They did not instruct us to create a
it's like Festus, the annual airing of the grievance, the annual rejection of the...
right. And that was much... it's strange, too. We have to do this in every odd year. So we can't forget. Every time we do our agenda, we go back to the previous year and pull the agenda to make sure we get anything that has a deadline or is scheduled for that. But because some of these things that Santa Fe has given us happen alternate years, we can't just pull 1 year's agenda to assure that we're getting everything. Of course, you know, all new stuff's coming in all the time, but there are many, many things in the boilerplate framework that we do. So we have to evaluate 3 or 4 years worth of agendas just to make sure that we didn't miss one of these odd things that you never see. It's the strangest
So this
thing,
is why the people behind the scenes are so important. Because
that's true. We have a really good staff at the county and can never say that enough. They really do a good job.
They do keep the people, the faces of the county in line with and keeping them, from commissions to your office.
Another boilerplate thing we do every year at the first meeting is we do our resolution for the notice for public hearings. Just says we're going to have public hearings, can be advertised here. Here's the rules. We can do a special hearing or a special meeting or an emergency meeting with this many days notice, and this is the advertisement protocols to do that. It's all by state statute. I mean, we have to do our meetings based on the Open Meetings Act in the state of New Mexico. One thing we did differently this year, normally we do 2 of them. Resolution 01 and 02 are usually for the commission meetings, and 02 is usually for the indigent health care meetings. We discussed it and decided we have quarterly meetings for indigent health care. They start at 8:30. They usually last about 10 minutes, and then everybody leaves, and then we come back at 9 o'clock for the commission meeting. Said, why are we doing that? Why don't we just make that a part of the regular agenda?
Right.
So every 3 months we will have our indigent health care meeting as a component of the main meeting. So rather than have 2 public hearing notices, we have 1 public hearing notice that spells out the fact that we're having that, and every quarter we will have an indigent health care meeting within the other meeting. So we did that. A little different than we've done it in the past, but it's a better use of people's time. So we feel like that's a good thing.
And everyone can appreciate that.
Let's see, we had a deletion of property and proposed disposal. It was really a pretty short meeting, and it's fortunate because we
had a lot of other business to attend to.
The meeting didn't end till about I would say it was after 1. So that was a pretty long meeting
good
for the county.
Meeting here, yeah.
The other thing we did is we appointed, made 2 reappointments, I guess you'd say, to the Chaves County Planning and Zoning Commission. That was well, I don't remember who both of them were. Dale Rogers was one of them. The other, I believe, was Michael Lackey.
Okay.
Was the other one. So they requested to be reappointed and are willing to continue to serve. Like we were talking earlier, we have a lot of people in this community that serve and do their part.
Absolutely.
So, and then we went into a closed session for a bit. We have 2 new commissioners. We get updates from our lawyer from time to time.
There's generally 2 reasons why they go closed session: talk personnel or talk legal.
Right.
Those are the 2 reasons, and so it's usually one or the other. And this one was basically introducing the new folks to the legal side of things.
we discussed threatened and pending litigation, and I am sorry to say, doesn't matter where you live, when people see a government entity, they seem to think there's deep pockets.
Yeah.
And we get sued for many, many things.
Yep.
And so our attorney came in and explained.
So there's one on retainer.
He explained everything that we are currently or expect to be sued for, lawsuits that we're involved in.
That is the real Festivus. The airing of the grievances is that session.
It is certainly a long list of grievances.
Yeah.
It's really disappointing. I mean some things are legitimate.
Sure.
I don't feel I was treated right or whatever.
And the sad reality is it's the cost of doing business nowadays.
Yes.
That's the sad reality is you almost have to factor this kind of stuff in because people looking for a quick buck. It's
our insurance and reinsurance have gone up exponentially.
You see those TikTok videos of people squirt water on floors and slip and falls and try to, they see county dollars doing that, and they, that's a lot of that kind of. I mean, maybe not to that nature, but equally of types of stuff.
And Chaves County spends millions for insurance. That's not for settlements. That's for the insurance to protect
just the right
us
to
from
protect
the
you from that
it's
stuff.
It's cheaper to pay millions in insurance, and everybody knows how insurance works.
Sure.
You're going to have to pay something if they settle something.
Yeah.
So
your rates will change.
We literally have to pay millions of dollars to protect the taxpayer from frivolous and real lawsuits. I mean, there are times when when
there's
for whatever
legitimate
reason it's a legitimate grievance, and
an error was happened,
and you need to figure out.
But
what
for
the
every
right,
one of those, there's a bunch of these other ones in between.
It is amazing how many there are. So anyway, that pretty much sums up the commission meeting yesterday.
Very good.
We had a lot to do. We had a little bit on the agenda, but then we had a lot to do because of the importance of getting a new state representative in place. And he's in Santa Fe this morning, probably saying, "What in the world did I do?"
Yeah, he woke up and said, "Woo, the honeymoon's over," if there was one to begin with. But we do appreciate all 6 candidates. Congratulations, and we thank you for their service, and we thank you for our continued service. It's going, like I said, we got to support our new candidate here, and let's get them as much. And this is something too. I want to remind folks, when this legislative session starts and these bills start getting in, and they start getting into committees, and hopefully you check tabs and see what kind of stuff they're talking about. Write your representatives. There's particular bills and things that they're working on that you have a strong feeling for, one way or the other. Please give them, because especially if they're trying to fight for something that they're really outnumbered on, which is 99% of the time with most of our legislators in Santa Fe, their ammunition, their way that they can turn the tide on being where they lack in numbers is they lack in support from their constituents.
Right.
When they walk into rooms with stacks of emails and letters saying, our people want this done, that's
pretty hard to ignore.
Exactly.
Because most of them would like to be reelected again. Sometimes they want to, move on to something else. But a good example of that was, sorry, my nose is running.
I'm doing the same thing. I've been here fighting the whole time, running and
trying not to do it on my sleeve. I'm on camera.
We've been battling. I've been doing it too, so don't worry. We're equally. So when you hear the sniffs, it's a 50-50 shot. It's me or Bill.
Yeah. So, and I don't have a cold. My nose is just running this morning.
I'm starting to get one. It just started creeping up yesterday.
One of the candidates was Sarah MacArthur. She's the chair, I believe, of the Democratic Party, Chaves County. and she mentioned things, pretty much stated them just the way you did. You know, you've got to be involved. If there's bills, you need to be a part of it. You need to come in, and everyone made great comments. I'm not singling her out for that reason. It's just she said something very similar to what you did.
Yeah.
But you know what? When this was all over, she was one of the first ones to smile and applaud that Mark Murphy got the.
Yeah.
It's because even though there's a Democrat and a Republican contingency within our county, I think we're a lot closer than people realize. I mean, there's a few people on the fringe, you know, as far away as
there's
they
extremes
can be.
in everything. Yeah.
But I think in Chaves County, we're probably a lot closer than people think. We're certainly a lot closer than California to what I think. Let me put it that way.
We're almost out of time, and I'm sure you know this gentleman because it's the most unique experience. When I used to do the morning show in Artesia for 8 years, and so I would do very similar to this, and so I talked to Eddy County commissioners, you know, same folks, you know, the mayor and so forth, Artesia mayor, blah blah blah. But each month I'd have at the time, it was 2 of the Eddy County commissioners would come in for like a Wednesday after the meeting to talk, and it was kind of funny because if you listen to the conversation, it was polar opposites because the 2 gentlemen that were with me was Guy Lutman, and Guy Lutman's from England. He's in Carlsbad. He does stuff in the Mountain Guys. He's a really nice guy, but he was a county commissioner for Eddy County for years, and he's from England, so he's got his governor, the whole thing going on. The other gentleman, who's a Democrat in name only, was Louis Derrick. Mm-hmm. And Louis Derrick, he's a great man. He fights the fight with the wolves and a lot of that. That's,
right, I know Mr. Derrick, and he's a current commissioner down there.
Oh, is he back in the commission again? Yeah. Okay, awesome. But if you ever sit and have a conversation with Louis Derrick, he's a good old cowboy, and he talks as slow as you know.
But man, what a knowledgeable guy! He's one of the people I go to constantly to get help with.
But to have that conversation with Governor and I think, and then me, but my point was, Louis Derrick's a Democrat and registered, and if you talk to him, he's like, my dad was a Democrat, my grandfather, and that's why he's a Democrat. But I gotta lie, he's more conservative than some conservatives.
You know, I
know what I mean?
I think in our part of the state, certainly that our way of life, I think we're all there.
Yeah.
It's just some people you know, want to categorize it by a title or by
you got to label it something
in a group, and some of them just want to fight about it. Others want to find solutions. I think most of us want to find solutions. Most of us want to do the right thing for our part of the state. I won't say it's that way across the state, but I believe in this part of the state it certainly is.
And that's always been the way. You can call me whatever name you want. I don't care, Dino, Rhino, Democrat, Republican. I don't care. At the end of the day, I just want the best for where we live and what we can do. And I always tell people, sometimes the guys on the left have a good idea. Sometimes the guys on the right have a we
don't always want to give them credit.
It just happens, you know.
No, sometimes
and so sometimes we need to and we are in the mess in New Mexico that we are is because we've never had balance.
Right.
It's always been very Democrat leaning. And that's bad regardless. If it was the other way, we'd equally be in the same problem because you need people challenging. You need the balances. You need the checks and balances. That's how good government works. And it's the same in D.C. It's the same in Santa Fe.
Right.
And so that's where we need to just get to the middle. Let's get to where you can have equal representation in that room and both arguments have the same level of getting to, you know what I mean, the same level of importance. And we're not there yet.
You know, it's really unfortunate.
We got a minute. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I believe that it's really unfortunate that the executive branches tend to overstep and do things that they shouldn't do.
Sure.
You know, we've talked a lot about
answering
30
to the party,
by 30,
not the people.
doing things that are not authorized by Congress in our state, doing things that are not what the people from the state, you know, the roundhouse is there for a reason. You should listen to that. But people put their own agendas into things, and
absolutely.
And I think that's where a big part of the disconnect is.
Sure.
And
well, you start answering to the party, to the people, to those things and not to the people you're representing, and that's where it starts to
yes,
get.
And in the legislatures as well, you know, they're like you say, it's kind of polarized in some cases. Like say if it gets out of balance and they're going to just walk on, you know, and not care what anybody else.
You kind of
wants.
need people in the room to keep that from happening.
That's true, but certainly on the top level, when they don't care what this body wants, and I'm going to do what I want.
That's where
and
you get
overstep. That's what
that's
what's going on.
That's when you start getting into dictatorships and that forms of government,
right?
And that's what we're dealing here. So
Thank you.
We're in the 9 o'clock. Thank you as always, Bill. And if we
you.
need anything else outside of our normal thing, don't hesitate to reach
Okay, and likewise, if you want me to come on for some reason, just give me a call.
All right. You know, I might take a day off and just have you host the show. Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.
It's 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. News in progress.
Chinese leader Xi Jinping ahead of Mr. Trump's inauguration.
Trump confirmed on social media that he had spoken with Xi and said the call was a very good one for both China and the USA. He said they talked about trade, fentanyl, and TikTok, among other things. The incoming president predicted that the two leaders will solve many problems together, starting immediately. Earlier this week, Senator Marco Rubio, who's Trump's choice to be Secretary of State, described China as America's biggest threat. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The proposed Israel-Hamas ceasefire hostage release deal is now in the hands of Israel's cabinet. Earlier, Israel's security cabinet gave its blessing to the pact. If the full cabinet follows suit, the first captives are to be released by Hamas on Sunday. Hundreds of Palestinian prisoners will also be set free by Israel over the course of that agreement. In another sign of the strengthening ties between Moscow and Tehran, the presidents of Russia and Iran have been meeting for talks at the Kremlin. Stocks are sharply higher this morning on Wall Street. The Dow is up 410 points. The Nasdaq trading 297 points higher, a gain of more than 1%. More on these stories at townhall.com.
You'll hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Border checks. Frogs and lizards have hitchhiked their way into Britain, including a tree frog from Colombia, and in mainland Europe, stowaway snakes have been found in olive trees destined for gardens. The scientists warn that improved global standards are urgently needed.
The BBC's Helen Briggs. China reporting its economy expanded at a 5% annual pace in 2024, slower than the year before, but still hitting Beijing's target. Strong exports and recent stimulus measures accelerated growth in the last quarter, raising it to 5.4% in October through December. Exports picking up, companies rushing to beat potential tariff hikes that incoming President Trump could impose on Chinese goods. Townhall.com. A legal challenge to a drug. It's widely used in abortions.
A federal judge in Texas is allowing 3 other states to pursue a challenge seeking to restrict access to the abortion pill mifepristone nationwide. The states of Idaho, Kansas, and Missouri can now move ahead with their efforts in U.S. District Court in Amarillo, Texas, where a nominee of former President Trump is the only judge. The states want the courts to prohibit telehealth prescriptions of the pill and to limit its use to the first 7 weeks of pregnancy. Keith Peters reporting.
SpaceX lost its Starship rocket during its latest test flight. It broke apart. SpaceX referring to it as a rapid, unscheduled disassembly. However, the craft's booster was captured by a giant mechanical arm upon its return to Earth. A SpaceX spokesman says it was great to see a booster come down, but we are obviously bummed out about the ship. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Javelin, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3 of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Thank you, Jocelyn. Sean is on assignment with his kid this morning. He's out doing some stuff with his son Hunter at school today, so he's doing that this morning. So Jocelyn's on the deuces and traces this morning. So happy Friday, everybody. Hope all of you are having a wonderful day. It's warming up. It's already in the upper 40s. It's kind of different. Usually we're still lingering into the 30s right now, but it hasn't picked up yet. But it will be coming. The wind will be blowing here before the day concludes. So we do have a wind advisory that's going to kick in here in about an hour at 10 o'clock this morning. And that's going to remain in effect till 4 o'clock today. But we are supposed to get in the 60s today. 63 is what they're saying our high today. But the winds are supposed to get up to like 15 to 20, 20 to 30, gusting as high as 45 by later this afternoon. So, but at the moment, 5-mile-an-hour winds, and it's 47. So it's not too bad at the moment. And then, of course, cold weather hitting us really starting Sunday, Saturday night and into Sunday. It's going to get really cold. So, as I always say, and I like to mention, I've been talking, they're working to get the warming center open. There's a lot of stuff going on with that. They're needing volunteers. They're needing help. I would offer this out if you'd like to help out, whether you want to be a volunteer or if you could donate clothing, coats, jackets, sleeping bags, tents, gloves, scarves, things like that, things to keep people warm. I invite you to check out Roswell Food Not Bombs on Facebook. They are a grassroots organization. Now, Food Not Bombs is a national, I believe, international organization. The Roswell Food Not Bombs organization is grassroots, volunteers, and their main thing is when they're not dealing with cold weather stuff is food. That's the food part. But they really collect food from everybody. When restaurants have leftovers for the night, things like that, and then they go out to the park and say, y'all eat, y'all hungry, come eat. But they really are trying to help out and serve the homeless here during this cold spell. So they are collecting sleeping bags, things like that. They're the ones that are giving volunteers to help out at the warming centers and stuff. And so we need more bodies. We need more sleeping bags. We need more warm things.
Please. Right, it's if you can find sleeping bags, blankets, bring them to us. Food Not Bombs Roswell.
Yeah.
We are going to be we're not going to be out at Pioneer tonight because of the weather.
Okay.
So but we will be at 1210 North Main.
I was like, we'll start there and then we'll blow down to about.
we'll go down Main Street.
Right. So you're going to set up at 1210 North Main.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been your inclement weather location for folks. So for folks that are kind of normally who are in their routine come, we're going to be at the 1210 location this evening, this afternoon.
It's Alpha Home Care.
Okay.
Right across from the, not sure what that motel is. I think it's Marriott, maybe.
I think you're
Fairfield,
right. Yeah,
Marriott.
it's really about, what, 10 blocks down from where you guys normally
it's on a
set
bus
up.
line.
Yeah,
So,
it's just up the hill a little
so
bit.
we can be in there without getting blown away.
Exactly.
And-
It's got a wind
Yeah.
barrier, and it's got a place where you can kind of enjoy a meal without feeling completely, wind blown and cold. But that's kind of what's going on. But in the meantime, it's like, if you want, I know, reach out to the Facebook. That's probably the best way. But if you've got things to donate, come at 12 to what time you guys usually set up?
4:30.
About 4:30.
Between
So
4:30.
So if you get out there for and usually there for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Till the food's gone. And
Till the food's gone, till pretty much it's dwindled.
Everyone's kind of got their fill and ready to settle in for the night.
They tend to eat and then wonder.
Sure. Well, you're dealing with all kinds of folks, and here's the thing: no questions asked. I don't care where you live.
Yep.
I don't care if you're a millionaire. I don't care if you ain't got 2 nickels to rub together. I don't care if you got a house. I don't care if you don't have a house. If you need food, come eat.
Yeah.
Come eat. And this is. And I know you share stuff like, if you're deciding, do I pay for meds or pay for dinner?
Yeah.
Pay for your meds. Come have dinner with us.
And it's pretty good food. We get food from Country Club.
You're eating pretty good.
You get a pretty good hot meal.
Is this steak? What are we doing here?
I delivered some food to a couple at Walmart the other day and gave them brisket, and they were like, "Oh, was this brisket?" It's all right.
You're eating pretty good, but and we're so thankful for the people, the partners that have been reaching out, restaurants, organizations, individuals, all the above. Keep doing it. If you'd like to get in on that, reach out to Jocelyn through Food Not Bombs, and we can do that. But if you want, come on down there about 4:30. Bring sleeping bags, bring coats. They'll probably give them out that before they leave there that night. It really is. And then, of course, talk with Jocelyn and talk with some of the volunteers there. If you'd like to get more involved in saying, hey, if you need people to help at the warming centers, I'd be happy to work a shift. That's where we're we're close to we may have locations, we just don't have the personnel. And so if we can have an army of people on standby saying, wherever you open up, we can come and make sure it, and that's what we're trying to put together right now.
And the warming center is being run by Roswell Community Disaster Relief at the Westminster Presbyterian Church. So if you cannot get a hold of him, call the church. I'm sure they can direct you somehow.
And I know you guys have been helping shuttle people there and things like that, because it's not downtown.
Right.
It's on the outskirts of town.
So if you know somebody that is cold and needs a place, I believe the hours will be Sunday at 8 that he's opening until Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Yeah, and those are the nights we're getting down to 18, 15 and all that.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. It's like tonight's going to be 29. I mean,
so
that's no Shangri-La.
We definitely need more. We are out of sleeping bags, and we are out of gloves. We are out of blankets.
So if you have those things
please,
lying around, as long as they're serviceable, we'll take it.
Food isn't an issue because today is our regular donation
Good
from
deal.
Mountain View. So we're good on food usually, and it's
but
just
stay in the
other
pipeline if
stuff.
you'd like to,
Yes,
because not every
please.
day is that secure.
Right. So sometimes we don't, but we make it work.
Yeah. And so this is where we're asking for help here. And we had Mark on yesterday. They're needing volunteers. That's the thing is when it comes to this stuff, we're all across the board here. Folks are needing volunteers. If you have time on your hands, there's some folks that could really use you right now, whether it's here through all these the homeless efforts or volunteering it through Harvest Ministries. Find ways to get involved and see what you can do to help.
And I know Mark's probably needs volunteers in the morning. I believe he said he's needing.
They need for distribution and
for stuff like that.
Yeah.
With us, I mean, I just encourage people to come and hang out with us.
Sure.
Because we're cool. We're we have music playing and stuff. So.
And with the Food Not Bomb food events, it's literally just a leisure. It's almost like an afternoon in the park type of feel vibe.
Come back and. They come out and hang out with us, and it's a big crowd, that we get.
But I would also offer this. There's a lot of healing going on out there. Yeah. It's more than just eating sandwiches and stuff. People are talking open because now you put people in a comfortable environment. They feel comfortable opening up, sharing their experiences, sharing their stories, letting their guard down a little bit. And so then you can start making progress on fixing the longer term issues. Like, why do you keep coming here? What can we do to where you don't need to come here anymore?
Right.
You
and
know?
that's our ultimate goal. But you really have to have the conversation with people and break those barriers. And
but it puts it in the timetable in their court, not your court.
And it's like I said, we're cool people. We don't ask any questions. We don't. We're not asking for paperwork. We're just if you're hungry.
Asking you. Come eat with us if you're hungry.
You're hungry.
And we'll work the rest out if you need me. Or not. That's the beauty of it. You come grab a plate and leave. We don't care.
You can you don't have to stay, but you can come eat.
But about 4:30 this afternoon, 1210 North Main, right there, it's Alpha
Home Care.
Home Care.
Yeah, right across from the Fairfield.
Yeah, it's Marriott Fairfield. It's right there.
It's a little office right there where I think there's like a counseling office.
Yeah, I know right where you're talking about. I don't know exact, but
you'll see.
I'll drive by and be like, oh, there it is.
You'll see our ice cream van out there.
Yeah.
So that's a beacon.
Does it have a music thing on your ice cream?
It does. The cows
fired up. Fired up. Just listen for the cow. Follow the cow.
Follow the moo sound.
But again, Roswell Food Not Bombs on Facebook is the page. If you want to reach out and ask questions or get more involved.
Any information I can give you, please message me, and I will try to do the best I can.
Absolutely, and she'll give you the picture of what we need. So,
yeah.
Thank you, Jocelyn.
Thank you,
as always, appreciate what you do. It's folks like her and her volunteers. You don't realize what great things these folks do, and they don't seek attention. They don't seek nothing. They just want to do it. So that's why I come out here and put these people in the spotlight to say support them. Because they won't do it. They're busy doing what they do. It is at 9:16. We're going to, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We're going to get you up to date with the weather here in just a few. And then we're going to talk Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico here in just a few minutes. We're going to have the president of the board of directors for the Historical Society, Jason Garcia. Also, Amy McFay-Teas, the executive director, will join us as well. And we'll get an update from them here in just a few. Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But Foist, let's take a gander at your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Strong cold front on the way in today. We have a high wind warning in effect through tonight. Wind gusting at 35 to 45 miles an hour, maybe as high as 50. We'll get some blowing dust across the area too, but we will have sunshine, low 60s on the afternoon high. Mid-30s and still pretty windy overnight. Upper 50s and sunny on Saturday. Upper 30s for Sunday and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 47 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 59%. Winds currently out of the southwest at 5 miles per hour. That will change. We do have a wind advisory that kicks in at 10 o'clock this morning. Stays in effect through 4 p.m. this afternoon. As I mentioned earlier, we're looking at patchy blowing dust and all that after 11 this morning. Sunny and 63 for high, the good news, but the winds will be up out of the west 15 to 20 early, increasing 25 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour later today. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 29 degrees. Winds will be out of the west, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, during the day, temps not too bad. We're going to be mostly sunny in the low to mid-50s. 52 is what they're saying for a high tomorrow. North winds at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night gets cold. We're dropped down to 18 for an overnight low under mostly cloudy skies. North winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. They'll drop down 5 to 10 after midnight. Sunday, partly cloudy, a high of only 34. Our high on Sunday is 34 degrees. East winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday night, we're looking at another overnight low of 18 under partly cloudy skies for your Martin Luther King Jr. Day Monday and Inauguration Day. It's going to be cold here, mostly sunny, 34 for a high on Monday. Monday night, we're looking at cloudy skies. Once again, overnight low of 15 for a low. And then Tuesday, 37 under partly cloudy skies. Tuesday night, 18 for an overnight low. And then by Wednesday of next week, we're back into the 50s for a bit. I think we're in the 40s on Thursday, but a little bit warmer by midweek next week. All right, 19 minutes after 9 o'clock, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll talk with folks from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hey, Roswell, Happy New Year. Roswell Ford has a New Year's resolution you're going to love. We resolve to sell more new Fords in 2025, so we're going to make it super fun, super fast, and super easy, just for you. In fact, we'll give you the price we'd give to a friend or family member right up front. So bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it, because at Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? We can help. We'll take your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, and even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Huge savings, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance, plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
Psalm 139 can be one of the most comforting or one of the most disturbing psalms in the Bible. David seems to be speaking to God throughout. Verse 1 says, "You've searched me, O Lord, you know me." Verse 7 says, "Where can I go from your spirit, and where can I flee from your presence?" If you're searching for God or looking for his guidance, then this psalm gives us the assurance that he's there for us. However, if you're running from God or trying to hide from him, these words should give you reason to rethink your attempt to get away. Over the next few weeks, we'll be studying the life of the prophet Jonah. He doesn't like what God has called him to do, so he tries to run from God's call. Whether you realize it or not, God is always with you, calling you to be his, to follow his word, to listen to him. Do you feel if something is missing in your life? Maybe it is God calling you to him. Be comforted in the knowledge that he loves you and that he is there to lead you where you need to go.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
You there! What are these?
My glasses, Your Highness. They're
incredible. Who made these?
The eyesight in Roswell. Or was it Hobbs? Or maybe Carlsbad.
So well crafted and stylish. So the eyesight thinks they can challenge my throne with their quality eyewear.
Actually, Your Majesty, I got 2 pair and an eye exam. It was so easy. I did it during my lunch break, and they even took my insurance.
Lunch break? Who gave you a lunch break?
Human resources, Your Majesty.
Silence! I'll get you eyesight!
The Eyesight, now accepting new patients 5 and up in Roswell, Hobbs, and Carlsbad.
3 locations?
Clearly the best in sight.
Your window of opportunity is almost here. Open enrollment period is your chance to sign up for affordable health insurance through Be Well, New Mexico's health insurance marketplace. Get free help finding a quality, low-cost plan that covers medical appointments, urgent care, prescriptions, and more. You could even qualify for free coverage. Visit BeWellNM.com between November 1st and January 15th to find a plan that fits your life and your budget, and open a whole new world of possibilities.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Did you know you share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world? Your birthday isn't feeling so special now, is it? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, of course, we have board president Jason Garcia, and then, of course, Amy McVeigh-Tejas, the executive director as well. I had to use formal titles today since there was 2 of you here, and Jason's all, you know, we gotta do this. So, good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Good morning. Good. We're good.
Good deal. Well, new year. And Historical Society, you know what? We had a good year. You know, you look at everything and you look at all we've done, and, you know, yeah, we do things different because that's the world we live in today. But overall, we had a very, very busy year in many, many fronts, from scholarships to activities to upgrades, repairs, renovations, the whole kit and caboodle. It's been a busy but productive year for the Historical
It went
Society.
really fast, and we were definitely busy, and it just
it feels like so many positive things came out of 2024.
Yeah.
I agree. Got the greatest compliment this week from an accountant, so I'll leave out the name, that she stated, Amy, I don't know how in the world y'all do what you do, but you make numerous pennies out of that penny, and I'm so proud of you. That's a great compliment.
Absolutely.
We do what we do.
And I will tell this, because Amy's the one saying that. Amy's the big reason for much of that. Jason can attest to this. She's very meticulous about, it's almost like the grandma from like, turn the thermostat down, turn, every little, turn that light out, stop staring in the refrigerator.
Well, she keeps us all on track.
That's true.
She is you're a very good steward of those very married. And I'll tell you, like, they'll be like, hey, I don't want to go buy pens. We got the donation of pens, because we're trying to save money.
We're not going to buy pens. We're going to donate a pen. Use the pen
We're
from
just
the
going to, we'll go to the chamber. We'll go to everyone gets free. We'll go to the bank. They give us free pens.
Fancy pens.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's literally, in the big things, that's not what happens. But when it comes to running the day-to-day and trying to, it's very skeletal.
It's amazing how efficient you can be when you have to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't realize how much you could cut back.
Sure, you didn't spend time in the Navy?
Oh my God!
You kind of got a. I've lived on a boat mentality a little bit.
You don't need it.
My mother lived her life by little things mean a lot. No pun intended. Little things mean a lot.
Sure.
They can add up with expenses, but we can also do great impact.
Absolutely.
Even those little things.
Yeah, and this is what we're joking and having fun and all here, but really, we try to keep those kind of expenses down so the money can go to Sunday Fun Days, to making sure that the roof, those scholarships and all that stuff. And so when we have our amazing book fairs and we have these events, or our heritage dinners, or any of our drive-through events, every penny that we get donated to us, and everyone that comes out and participates, we want to make sure that every dollar is going to support the Historical Society in one way, shape, or form, and by default, supporting the public, whether it's through kids and youth, through preservation of historical stuff, or somewhere in between.
I don't think people realize how much a 112-year-old building requires maintenance and just repairs.
And you can't just do it the regular way like you got. You can't just call a plumber and say, no, by the way, ours is historical. You got to fix it with keeping it in the theme of history. So you can't just, guess what? We can go and drop a state-of-the-art air conditioner system in here. No, you can't.
It doesn't work.
We'll just fix that with fiberglass. No, you can't.
That's right.
Well, that's right. And shout out to Fred Boggs. We give him a hard time. We joke with him. We eat ice cream with him. We give chocolate to him.
Yeah.
But
he does work for chocolate and ice cream. He's pretty cheap.
But at the end of the day, through that chocolate and through that ice cream, we're just kidding, Annette. He really doesn't eat that much. No, I'm just kidding.
He eats very healthy when he's with us.
He is there a lot. He is there a to he's one of my best friends. And why is because he looks for the details.
Absolutely.
And the details matter.
And to be honest, this is kind of like the board. Like, I've been on this board for, I don't know how many years now, 4 or 5.
Might be dog years.
I have no idea.
Right? You can
I have no idea. People ask, how long? You're like, I don't know. I don't.
It's been a spell.
Like COVID, it was pre-COVID. So anything pre-COVID, it was a long time ago. I don't know.
Right.
That's my new mark. It was before COVID. I don't know. But I will say this we have a great board, from president on and to our officers. I mean, it's a great job, and I'm not trying to blow smoke here, but everyone has their niche, and everyone has their what you're good at, and so, obviously because of what I do, I'm good at promotions, and so I kind of stay in that vein. But, guys like you're talking about, like Mr. Ice Cream here, Mr. Boggs, Fred Boggs, his expertise is that detail, and he does have repair skills and stuff, so he can kind of tell when the contractors are giving him legit stuff or blowing smoke. He's been a good steward to kind of protect us from those kinds of things. And Jason, where
we don't know what I do.
Well, no, but here's the thing that as president, unfortunately, what we deal with and things aren't always sunshine and rainbows. Wherever things happen, there's always someone trying to do something or get something in, or it's. Unfortunately, we live in a world where egos become a problem in certain circles. And be honest, Jason, you're good at dealing with those kinds of things, and that's the reason why I think you're the guy in charge. And so that's what I mean about, it's like the people, we talk about Amy Miller. She's always been a numbers person. I mean, she's always, you know what I mean? And so we have people that are really good at those areas, and we kind of say, hey, you're good at those. Let's keep you in your creamy, excellent area here, and let's do that. And that's why I think we have had the success. We don't have, and here's the good thing too, despite these little things moments.
Right.
We're the duck, man. We're the top of things going. I mean, underneath the water's a little crazy, but we keep it
Even
looking
keeled,
like the duck on the water here, and I'm proud to be a part of it, but more complimentary of everyone else in that room besides me that
everybody on the board does a good job, and we have a good team.
We're all equally so in our niche.
Yes.
And having fun. And Jason and I spoke about it a couple of times at the end of the year. This year, we want to continue to share light with others, but we just want to have fun.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something to be said when our board members show up.
Yeah.
And we're going to show up with a smile and have some fun.
Absolutely.
By doing what we do and impacting lives. But we have fun.
But we also are at a time where maybe we would love to invite others to get involved. If
yes.
you want to, I don't know about board yet. We may. This is that time of the year and stuff, but definitely we need volunteers in many capacities.
We do.
Whether you want to serve as a docent or something like that.
Yes.
Or even more behind the scenes. You want to get down and dirty in the archives and start cataloging and do it. We'd love to have you. We have lots of different roles, and whether you like dealing with people or don't like dealing with people, we got roles that can be very helpful to us as a society.
You know what I love is that many of the people that first started out, kind of like Fred, that really project himself to be a behind-the-scenes man of my people. OMG, now he's people.
Yeah. So if you're looking to get out of your shell a little bit, maybe serving with us on the historical side.
He does a darn good job of doing the tours, and he likes to, guide people through. And
absolutely.
What I love is we give the opportunity for people to thrive in their zone, but we don't ever want to just stay where we are.
As humans,
we send them over in other areas before you know what they're having fun doing.
And we're in the business of making people better too, because that's why we do the scholarships and everything else. And we see. And to be honest, the real win for all of us, and I know for Amy and Jason, is it's the day where you guys get to call them up and show up and hand them the checks and do all that. But it's when 5 years later, these people come through the doors and they say, "Hey, just this since I've talked to you, I'm now a doctor. I'm now or whatever." They're just
Amy receives updates on scholarship awardees from years past.
Just yesterday, guys.
Yeah.
I got just yesterday.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Amy, thank you so much. Words cannot explain how grateful I am, and this will absolutely help me out a lot. That's from Shoshani Martinez, with New Mexico Youth Challenge, and I believe she's in grants. That's just one. The eyes light up, make me happy. Now we have this extended family. One of our first scholarships at Fort Sumner is a parent with 2 children and a doctor, and I was like, oh my gosh, we are like really grandparents now. And we're getting the Case and Joneses of the world that have graduating from New Mexico Tech and getting married. So these kids are sharing their joys with us.
And the Historical Society in Roswell, New Mexico is just a little piece in their pie of what is that.
And the good and the bad. And we want these kids to know they're imperfect just like we are. And through the good and the bad. And that's something else I was reminding them of. They said, oh, I don't want to call you. I don't want you to know. No, we want to know everything. We're here.
This is when we talk about mission statements and the goal, and people say, why do you do these things? And because you got to remember, history is everything. Historical history is the study of us.
Right.
Everything we do, whether it's what you're doing on your Facebook page or what George Washington did in 1776. All of the above is part of that.
Well, it's true. No, that is true. That is
true. So people that say they don't like history or don't, and so everything is history.
Everything
part of it is, and that's what, with these kids and through the scholarships. Now, granted, there's always history angles on this. Why, every kid that it's awarded a scholarship, they earned it. It is a dogfight. I've heard the conversations. I've heard the stuff.
If you've read the essays and watched the videos, it's fascinating.
And so it's really yes, but we're also forcing some of these youth to take a look at history and take a look at what's their backyard and how do you think about that? And that's what we base our decisions on scholarships is how they're handling and how they're So to tell, is it part of history? You bet your butt it is, because we're A, creating it, but B, also fostering it for these generations that are now going to be the next leaders in our community. What's your foundation? We're hoping to kind of strengthen that a little bit.
Another example, through the good and the bad, I was on the phone just the other day with Caroline Brooks, and through the good and the bad and the struggles, we're still family. Her and I we're already talking about, what does Museum Day look like in 2025? We don't know, but there will be one, and we'll enjoy every bit of it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we've had what,
You know,
two very successful ones, so it's got to get bigger.
Oh, they're super well received.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun, and hopefully when the next one is, all the museums will be up and running. I know, like Walker Aviation, they're still dealing with some flooding issues and things like
some
that.
things,
So,
but you know what I love is we're all going to arm in arm do it. It may look different, but you know the thing I was just explaining to a lady yesterday. She was wondering why we didn't do every single thing the way we used to do things. And, you know, even Caroline and I were talking about it. You know, something good will come. We refuse to not, you know, through the struggle.
If you show me a person that does every single thing the same way they've done it for the last 20 years, I'm going to show you a person that's behind the 8 ball on a whole lot of stuff.
Got a little problem with doing everything the same. There's some exceptions.
And if they're doing it the same way, they're probably not moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I'm saying.
It's
like you gotta find that. Yes, as far as the big picture, you want it in the same direction. But how you get there? Sometimes you got to move to the left. Sometimes you got to move to the right. You know, that's just life.
You know, my husband's a counselor, and that's what I love about education.
Yeah.
They're evolving. They're improving.
Yeah.
Even with Jason, that's what we see. That greatness isn't flatline.
Well,
kind
and
of
the challenges and the problems always change. You know, I mean, yes, at the end of the day, we're trying to get the best for everybody, but the hurdles that present the obstacles that present that from happening are different every time. And sometimes it's, you know, society-based, sometimes it's technology-based, sometimes it's a cocktail, all the above. I mean, it's just the world evolves. There's nothing that, I mean, we're in this age of digital.
Yep.
You buy an iPhone 27 or whatever they're up to now.
Right.
Next week, they already got the iPhone 37 out. That's just the world we live in nowadays. It's just, that's it. And if you're not keeping up and doing it, then you're falling back.
Right. Talking about keeping up, we have a lot going on, Mike.
I'm about to say, yeah, we need to keep up with all that. Let's do that.
Well, it is membership time if you're a member of the Historical Society.
Reminds me, I got to cut you a check, don't I?
hey. On that note, show us the money, Mike. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I'll see you on Monday, so I'll bring it with Tuesday. I'm sorry, I'll bring it with me Tuesday.
It's membership time, membership renewal. If you need more information, call 622-8333. From $30 up to $1,000, and consider gifting one. If you renew for yourself, consider gifting and renewing one.
Absolutely.
Kind of a pay it forward
And we have
thing.
different levels and everything that you can do as an individual,
Bronze,
as
silver, gold,
a
platinum.
couple, as a corporate business
Right.
or organization.
Platinum
all the above.
business, $150. That's for family or business.
Yeah, we're pretty inexpensive.
We are. Well, I
Not
think
cheap,
that's right.
but inexpensive.
That's right, because we're valuable. So
It's quality.
That's right. Quality matters.
But you don't understand that does move the needle for keeping everything going. Those membership dollars, they help pay for when the roof leaks, when the foundation starts crumbling a little bit. We got to
I've learned more about tile roofs than I've ever thought I'd.
Okay, and we have show and tell because we were cleaning out. Huge shout out to New Mexico Youth Challenge when they were helping us clean out everything.
Yeah.
We've got our samples, the sample of the sampler, the approval, and all that. Yes, we still have that, man. And we never stop learning. That's a learning curve.
Well, that's the cool. But so your dollars do help that way, and of course,
gosh, yes.
with your membership, you get newsletters, you stay up to date and stuff. And but if you want to get more involved, we'd love to have you. But as a start, becoming a member is a great way to support the
Somebody just told me last week, Amy, I had no idea y'all had memberships and you got newsletters.
Yeah.
So we've said it, we'll say it again. We rely on memberships and donations.
That is our bread and butter.
That is where our newsletters go. So our newsletters are mailed out to individuals that are members of the society. We have lifetime members of the society. We have members that have been members way before I've been around type thing. So that is how you become a member, and you can get more information by calling the museum at 622-8333 or going to our website at roswellhistory.org.
Yeah. A couple other ways to support. Want to mention this, especially since, you know, things like the convention center no longer available for the foreseeable future and things. Now, we don't have that kind of facility. No. But our archives facility can host a meeting of about 75 people, I think is what the fire marshal.
50 to 100.
That's when he'll get mad at that point. Of course, there's a new one. We have to grease the wheels. Just kidding. Matt kind of looked. I'm just kidding. Just joking. But Matt's been a big part of the historical society. So all joking aside about that. But we have a nice facility. It's got a full, not commercial grade kitchen, but like your home kitchen. It's got a stove, fridge, and all that.
Chairs.
And then, like so, we could. It's got a building capacity about 75. We got a big enough table. You could easily put 40, 50 people in there for a meal if you need to. But anyway, if that is that's available as a rental, we offer rates. Of course, if you have business meeting or a small wedding reception, or and that's another thing. Here in about 2 months, when the green things start happening again, you're going to want to pay attention to the historical society. Once the garden clubs get out there doing their magic and the things start turning green again, all I'm saying is we're a very, very nice place to do pictures. That's if you want to do weddings and things like that. We love to offer that up for folks like that. That's a great way to support the historical society. We always do tours. We don't have set hours, but if you call us and make an appointment or reservation, we'll be happy to do that stuff for you.
Recently, it's been more in the morning for whatever reason.
Has that been kind of the...
running mornings, and even kind of early mornings, and we're fine.
Yeah.
Robin's an early morning person.
Good.
So we're liking that. But I think, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you're listening, this 1 to 4, 2 to 4 type of thing is really not fitting with a lot of our travelers.
Right.
That's kind of their prime time to go to some of the other places that are only open. We are really seeing morning, even later afternoon, and we're willing to accommodate the needs of the people and not mandate they adjust to our schedule. We are open to
you
that.
call us and say, hey, I got family in town on Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Can I bring them by for an hour? Yes, you can. Come on, do that. That would be happy to do that. And we love to do that. And I'm going to tell you, you're getting a better product, or because you get a private store. Those private, you're getting a better product.
Spend a couple of hours. Yeah. We had the ladies with an appointment, 30 minutes turned into 2 hours, 15 minutes. Okay, we're gonna be back next week.
Yeah.
And then what we're loving is Fred gives such a different tour than Melanie or Robin. We're having fun because they'll say, "Can we come back for a different tour?" Because I'm not saying
demand your docent.
Because Fred's talking about this, and Robin's talking about
this. It's almost
this.
like a wrestling match. Pick your docent. There you go. Fred Boggs. Bring them home.
See you at the pole. We had a couple of us, a lot of individuals were praying from the home. It was a little bit chilly. See you at the pole next Wednesday, January the 22nd, 9 o'clock.
We're back on yesterday, kind of got back to our normal schedule again after the Christmas holiday here. But every Wednesday, 9 o'clock, come meet us out at the flagpole in front of the archives facility. That's the meet us at the pole part. Right.
And whether there's 4, 50, or 100, we're going to be there.
And there's no particular reason, need, or whatever. Pray for whatever you want. That's
for sure.
It kind of started over, the floods, the fires, everything is going on.
National Day of Prayer, and then see you at the pole, and then it's really
you're
right.
But it's gonna, we had Southeast Mexico had a rough year in 2024. We had a lot of, from flooding to fires to all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And so we had a lot to pray for, and so it kind of spawned from just that.
Right.
And now it's just a staple that we do every Wednesday. If you can come every Wednesday, amazing. If you can come some Wednesdays, great. If you just, I will do it in spirit, and I will do it wherever I'm at 9 o'clock that day. Awesome too. But we'd love to invite you. Come on down, and who knows? Maybe if you come with a thermos of coffee or something, you might get more popular than you realize. Sometimes somebody, that guy's got a thermos of coffee.
Okay, see, that's what I did. See, I'm behind the ball. See, maybe if I was offering hot chocolate, more people would show up. That's a good idea.
That's just it. She gives away everything. That's what I'm saying. You come and make friends and bring a thermos.
There you go.
Well, it's cool that some of the schools bring their students. And so we have young folks of all ages, all the way.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. We've had students from All Saints. We've had Youth Challenger. Exactly.
The new intermediate prep academy.
We've given tours.
I love when families incorporate their young children into these things to kind of show them the way.
Gosh, yes. Oh yes. Oh gosh, yes.
That's so important to teach and that's really what the historical society is about. At the end of the day. Yeah. At the end of the day, we're just prepping the next generation for what they've got to deal with.
That's true.
That's really all we're doing. That's what people in schools are doing, in your church, we're all getting that next generation ready for whatever challenges we're facing. And if you kind of look at that, the big picture, then you understand why coming out of the poll on Wednesday is an important thing.
Speaking of the future, I've never said this name on the radio. It's important to me. So 2024 New Mexico Youth Challenge Scholarships had an amazing group, 80-something. We had to have the event at Roswell High School because it would have been a convention center.
Outgrowing is a good thing.
I'm going to say this name because she's as shy and as special as they come. And from the director of TINA, I don't hesitate to mention this. One of the greatest students, silent, but amazing, is Cherokee Rose Cordell, $1,000 scholarship recipient, very special
That's
young
a beautiful
woman.
name. Like that's a showbiz name right there.
She was out at Youth Challenge just the other day getting ready for the next group. Lift Youth Challenge up in your prayers. They'll receive students this Sunday.
Awesome.
Special young woman, still after graduating, out there doing great
I can
things.
picture her name on a book. Like, can
Man,
she
I'm
write?
telling
Like I feel like
you.
that's a
And Mike, she's a shy one. She steps away from me because we all know I'm a little bit a lot to take in.
Amy,
But she's-
a lot of things, but shy is not one of
No.
them.
So I'm determined to sit down with her. She's
Sure.
one that's really quiet. I'm
Sure.
going to sit down with her.
You're gonna crack that
so
nut,
Cherokee,
aren't
if
you?
you're listening, I'm coming. We're going to have lunch.
You're gonna break that. You're gonna crack that nut and figure out what's going on in there.
She didn't know. Scholarships. Jason and I both serve on that committee. It's about that time. We have not submitted the information. Our intention is to offer those. Should be out January 31st.
Yeah, give
to
us a
February
couple
1st.
weeks here. Yeah.
You're gonna. So we have had a lot of emails about this. If you have a high school senior or a college student, we will be submitting information around January the 31st. You'll need to go directly to the website, roswellmhistory.org. No exceptions. There will not be paper applications. Travis Ackerman heads up our committee.
We're doing it all digital.
All Google Docs. Very exciting stuff. A lot of scholarships. So look for on our social media.
And there's reasons for doing it that way. And I get people say, why can't you do it? Well, at the end of the day, it's a scholarship. And part of the process is following directions.
That's right.
So,
but we know for
that's what-
sure we'll have humanities and art scholarship, STEM, character, and continuing education.
Sure.
One scholarship for any individual in trade school or college.
Absolutely. But please be on the lookout, and certainly when that starts hitting the website and all that, we'll be the first to let folks know that it's there. But in the meantime, you can check out the website, roswellnmhistory.org, and see everything else. If you want to do a little shopping, if you want to do just a little bit.
Brand's
yeah, get her books. If you're maybe you got a few John's books or Donna's books, and you're looking to get a few more now that you read those, come to our website and you'll find them all there. And if I always, because I like to support those folks, also have Amazon pages, and that's how they really get money.
It's true.
But they are both very kind enough to do it through us. So. Maybe buy some of your books through us, but don't hesitate to go to their Amazon page and buy a book or two. That way, support them
we don't
more.
have everything.
We don't, but
Yeah.
I have to avoid our bookstore because I hardly walk out without one.
He's like, he keeps looking.
Yeah, so I would say maybe buy some of your books through us, but support them directly by going to their Amazon and buying them that way
If you don't want to buy
too.
every book, some of our volunteers, they put their bookmarks, they start reading our book. And so, and Melanie,
Ooh.
if you're listening, so Melanie finished the book, and I was one to pull the bookmark
If someone
out.
wants to be diabolical.
She was, yes, she was reading the George W. Littlefield book, and she would put a little marker in there. Hey, if you're a happy eater, because Mike, I know you're a happy eater.
I
Mike's
am.
a happy eater.
I love me
we
some
just
food.
booked. Shout out to Amber.
Oh,
at
that's right.
Texas
Texas Roadhouse night.
Amber, we love you. We appreciate what you do. She helps make this possible, and everybody at Texas Rosa.
Yep.
Our dates are so far for this quarter. We're gonna I think we're gonna try every other month.
Okay.
February the 11th.
So it'll be our
Tuesday.
next one here in a-
So do your Valentine's.
about 3 weeks or
do
so.
your
Yeah.
Tuesday Valentine's.
Yeah, an early Valentine. The 14th
Yes.
is going to be nuts anyway. Come on the
That's
11th.
right. Tuesday, February 11th, 3 to 10. You will need to show this, and we'll post it. And then the next one, mark your calendars, Tuesday, April the 15th. Which
Tax Day.
That's a fun day, because she's like, do you want to do that? I'm like, yes. You know, hey, it'd make you feel better. If you took a hit.
You know what?
just
Depending
go.
on that day, maybe a good steak is what you need at the end of that
That's
day.
true. That is true. Every penny counts. As you can see, we're getting ready for a newsletter. If somebody says we're not doing things, we don't have a lot of stuff on. Y'all can see the papers. We're collecting loose change.
That's
so
always
if you're
a constant,
cleaning
yeah.
after Christmas, clean out the vehicle. Call us. We'll even pick it up. We're collecting loose change.
Yep.
Next
You get new couches, go through the old ones first.
Yes. Listen in next Friday. John LeMay and our
Yeah.
Jacob Hardwick. He's a student at Roswell High School. He
Yeah.
has been a big part of our family doing a lot of things, including helping John write a 2-page article for our newsletter on the floods.
I think is it 9:15 next this time next week?
He is so excited.
Joe, 9:15 next Friday. We'll have John and Jacob on here, and of course,
great thing, doing a lot. He's a hard worker.
Again, another person that serves on our board does like John LeMay. He's kind of and he's our history guy. He's the guy that runs the archives. Between him and Elaine, they kind of keep a tight ship there to this stuff. And so again, back to the credit to our volunteers and people that keep going. We look at everyone in that boardroom, and I'd hate to see what the historical side would look like if we didn't have those people in the room. I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have them. It'd be the way of the dodo.
Working board, and everybody's working.
Yeah.
What concept?
Yeah, it is, and I will say this because I don't want to. I've served. I've been on a lot of boards. I do a lot of this kind of stuff. The historical society one is one of the easy's not the right word. More enjoyable ones of the bunch. Ones where I'm like, I feel like we're getting. Some other days I'm like, I'm spinning my wheels in this room, but this one I don't get those feelings. And so that is a tribute to every single person in that room, and yourself. And the people before us, the Elmas Flemings and all those folks that were doing this.
Jane.
Oh gosh, yes.
We had Bill Williams, his wife,
Jane.
before
Miss
you.
Tina. We've got a great family.
These folks are the reason we are doing well today.
Oh goodness, yes. And it is not about me. It's always about we. We all believe that. It's all about that. I have to give a shout out. This is my son's birthday.
Oh, right.
He's having a good time, but a shout out to Bryce Mitchell Davis. He's 28 today, so happy birthday.
He's a radio critic too.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And
well, happy birthday, Bryce.
Well, and we've always celebrated Arthur Luther. He always used to say Arthur Luther instead of Martin Luther King because he didn't have to go to school. See?
That's true. Well, Monday's kind of we got Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Inauguration Day. There's a lot going on
National
Monday.
Championship Day. Shout out to Carol Cunningham, and yes, she'll want us to give a shout out to the Buckeyes.
Yeah.
She's our only board member that survived the college football bracket. Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah. So here we go.
Although I love that they do this tournament thing now, more like a bracket and everything else.
Yes.
It does make the bowl season much more enjoyable.
So the Matt and Carol are representing for the Historical Society.
That's right. Go Commanders.
There you go. See, if you have any questions, Historical Society Museum number 622-8333.
Yep.
Archive number 622-1176. RoswellNMHistory.org or History Director.
And then, of course, Historical Society for Southeast Mexico also has a Facebook page. We invite you to like and follow that, too. And that way is a great way to share and stay up to date. Like, if you need your reminders at Wednesday, 9 o'clock, we usually put the reminders up a day or two early. Don't forget, Wednesday at the poll, So use it as your own personal calendar.
So shout out to Danielle Gonzalez.
Yes.
She makes us look good. And she is definitely one of those behind-the-scenes women that may not be on our board anymore.
Yeah,
but she's clearly doing more off the board than she ever. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
she's the behind-the-scenes.
Well, she's a hustler in life. Whereas what she does for the Historical Society, she also does for her own family and her own personal life. With her being a business owner and being she's a go-getter, and we're so appreciative that she uses her skills to help us too.
And honoring the Gonzalez legacy. One thing I want to mention, we haven't mentioned our video. If you're at home, watch our video. Just go to YouTube, put in Historical Society for Southeast Mexico. Great 20-minute video on the history of Roswell. Share. A lot of people coming with air races coming. The more we share that video, we'll get a little bit of a glimpse of what Roswell has.
Roswell has a lot
so
of history.
much more.
Absolutely.
Right, so much more.
I mean, it's literally, we always say it, come for the aliens and stay for the rest.
Yes.
It's like you don't realize how the depth of the history that is Roswell, New Mexico, from military to people to aliens and to everything in between, to the farming and ranch. I mean, dairy industry. I mean, you don't realize how many things that are globally impacted that come out of Roswell, New Mexico.
It's cool to add one more facet to our history with the air races.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm excited to see that.
Is.
I kind of been hearing, I don't know about y'all, but they've been flying around and stuff.
Yes.
And if you take a listen, you can kind of hear them whipping around out there.
You sure? It was when I was at U Challenge.
Yeah.
We had Desi and I, but we came early and we stayed a little bit later.
Yeah, you could see them out there going through their paces.
I was literally working, sending emails and listening, and got to see something.
Yeah.
We will be establishing our own army of volunteers. We're going to need an army of volunteers on behalf of the society. So please, we are really going to show up morning, noon, and night have that museum booming.
It'll be a busy.
It will. So please, if you used to be a docent and you're volunteering,
reach out.
Yes. And
I would even say we're going to get like a pre-dress rehearsal here in May.
Yes.
Because like what? To give you a little timeline.
Yes.
What's going on right now is they're kind of finalizing the course. So the guys are out there kind of finalizing. They're flying and trying to. In May, every single pilot needs to come and get certified on that course.
Yep. Right.
It's an unusual thing because now that they moved, usually they do this, like the new pilots come, they got to get certified. The guys have been flying it for years, not so much. But since this is new territory for everyone, we're basically going to have the entire pilot and everybody here in May for that.
Hey, and ladies and their wives.
And their wives.
We need volunteers because those amazing pilots have wives and families.
They're going to be scoping out Roswell in May, finding their stuff for September.
They need something to do.
So,
that's exactly right.
And then September is going to be the big show.
There you go.
But May is kind of our dress rehearsal here a little bit. So.
Call the museum, 622-8333. We'd love to have help, volunteers, couples, families. We're going to have a lot of fun and enjoy every minute of this history making.
Absolutely. And be on the lookout for scholarship information and all that stuff here in the next few weeks here as well. And please reach out if you want to get involved. We'd love to have you. Or if you need the archives facility for your own personal events or things. And by the way, membership, the higher the levels, you get perks that kind of, we can kind of say, yeah, we can get that for you.
Yes. Fourth grade school tours coming up. I didn't mention that. Fourth grade school tours coming up in March. If you have been a volunteer, want to be involved with that, a business, and want to add to the blessings of the backpacks, we've already submitted something to get approved, but any way we can impact the lives, we are all in.
Absolutely.
Fourth grade school tours.
And be on the list because usually we need donations for like paper towels and things to make the butters and all that
hand
good stuff.
sanitizer and toilet paper.
So much cleaning.
We're going to keep it clean.
That's right.
So call the museum for more information.
Absolutely.
Love to have everybody and anybody be a part of that wonderful occasion.
Yeah, and we are hoping and determined to make 2025 even bigger and brighter than 2024.
So the dust does not settle.
Yep.
Yes.
That's right.
And we're going to have fun. We're going to stay sunny side up and be a beacon of light.
Absolutely.
And join the family and be part of it.
My favorite way to have eggs, by the way.
There you go.
I'm a fan of those because you can get the toast.
There you
go. But thank you guys. Appreciate all you do. We'll see you. We'll see you next week if I don't see you sooner. So.
Thanks a lot.
All right, 9:56. Let's pause for news and hand the update before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Sorello. We begin today with a traffic alert for you in Roswell. A project to remove and replace the bridge on South Elm Avenue over the Hondo River is scheduled to begin next week. The project is expected to take at least a couple of months. During that time, that portion of South Elm Avenue over the Hondo River will be closed to all traffic. A portion of the Hondo River Trail in that area will also be closed during the work. Traffic detours will be in place. And Roswell is putting its new revised animal ordinance into effect. The new rules, the city says, are intended to promote proper care of pets and responsible pet ownership. Changes include the prohibition of dog tethering, with certain exceptions. There are also more diseases against which dogs and cats must be vaccinated. Finally, there are increased fines for violation of the ordinance and a 5-year ban on pet ownership for anyone convicted of animal abandonment. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Strong cold front on the way in today. We have a high wind warning in effect through tonight. Wind gusting at 35 to 45 miles an hour, maybe as high as 50. We'll get some blowing dust across the area too, but we will have sunshine, low 60s on the afternoon high. Mid-30s and still pretty windy overnight. Upper 50s and sunny on Saturday. Upper 30s for Sunday and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Happiness isn't about getting what you want all the time. It's about loving what you have and being grateful for it. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smitherman for The Joy of Marriage.
As people, we can get so focused on what we don't have, we don't appreciate what we do have. We can make ourselves miserable, angry, and even depressed by focusing our thoughts and words on the negative. Take a look around and find something to be grateful for that your spouse does. It will change your attitude in your marriage.
1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, "No matter what happens, always be thankful, for this is God's will for you who belong to Christ Jesus."
Take it from me, I was such a negative person, but by renewing my mind with God's Word and learning to be thankful, it changed my life and greatly impacted my marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Your home for Kim Commando in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Your window of opportunity is almost here. Open enrollment period is your chance to sign up for affordable health insurance through Be Well, New Mexico's health insurance marketplace. Get free help finding a quality, low-cost plan that covers medical appointments, urgent care, prescriptions, and more. You could even qualify for free coverage. Visit BeWellNM.com between November 1st and January 15th to find a plan that fits your life and your budget, and open a whole new world of possibilities.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The Supreme Court has upheld the law banning TikTok beginning Sunday if it's not sold by its Chinese parent company. Correspondent Rich Thomason.
The court's decision means new users will not be able to download the app. Updates will not be available, but it will not disappear from users' phones. National security concerns prompted passage of the TikTok ban. President-elect Trump had called on the high court to keep the ban on hold until he takes office Monday, but instead the court unanimously upheld the federal law, which TikTok owner ByteDance had challenged on free speech ground.
Congress had passed the law